Welcome, everyone, to Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field. The Wilmington Blue Rocks taking on the Aberdeen Ironbirds. Aberdeen Ironbirds, the host, or the High A affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles, and the Wilmington Blue Rocks, the High A affiliate of the Washington Nationals. With you is myself, Jack Mill, alongside Aiden Doherty. And Aiden, it was a downpour of runs yesterday. 12-7 win for the Wilmington Blue Rocks against the Aberdeen Ironbirds for win number 30. Their offensive momentum was just a lot yesterday, and they haven't been able to really do that this entire season. How do you continue to do that against a pitcher like Luis De Leon, and for the Blue Rocks, who's pitching right now as first pitch is just underway to Enrique Bradfield Jr., they're going to have to go against Riley Cornelio, who leads this team in wins.
Yeah, Riley Cornelio, good at home and gets wins. That's all that matters.
Enrique Bradfield Jr. drops down a bunt down the third base line. Dugas fields it, and he will not make a throw, so Enrique Bradfield Jr. will get on base with a infield bunt single, and Bradfield, who went 0 for 5 yesterday, gets in the hit column early.
Yeah, Enrique Bradfield Jr. is as good as advertised. He's picked up a big year for the Ironbirds. I mean, the 2023 Orioles first-round pick is just somebody that's electric, whether he's in the field or whether he's in the box or whether he's on the base paths. And right there, he found a way to get on the base paths with a beautiful bunt.
Number 5, Orioles prospect for Baltimore. It was a first-round pick in 2023. Now he's on the base paths, and he takes off for steal number 30. The throw to second, not in time. He will pick up steal number 30. And he now leads this Aberdeen Ironbirds in steals, and they have now 184 steals, which leads the South Atlantic League. Next in line is 133.
Bradfield Jr. he steals bases, and that's one thing he does at Vanderbilt, which is where, he went to college. He had 96 career stolen bases. Actually, he had more, but he tied the program record at 96 early in his last season in February, and he went on to obviously break that record later.
Here is the lefty of Reed, Trimble, finally back in the Aberdeen lineup. Cornelio getting another start for the Blue Rocks, one of the more dominant pitchers for the Blue Rocks. 5 wins, 5 losses, 5.24 ERA with a 1.48 whip through 56 and a third innings pitched, 47 strikeouts, and he had a loss in his last start with 5 and a third innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, as well as 2 walks and striking out 3 against Jersey Shore. Now in a 2-0 or 3-0 count to Reed Trimble, the right fielder for Aberdeen today. Reed Trimble has dealt with a lot of injuries, had a left shoulder surgery in the winter of 2021, a season-ending injury in May of 2023, and dealt with a right hamstring strain in late April of this year. And he just came back from rehab assignment with Delmarva, and he lifts one into shallow center. Jonathan Thomas racing after it. He gets under it, and he makes the catch for out number 1, and Thomas had some company out there from both Made and Pena, who were playing short and second. It was a ball up for anyone's grab.
That's a tough play for anybody because it's a little shallow, and one of those middle infielders could possibly make that catch, but luckily enough for the Blue Rocks, they have speed out there in center, and he made it look like a routine play for out number 1.
Now in steps Mac Horvath, the designated hitter for Aberdeen. Out of UNC in his second year in the minor leagues at 22 years old, 6 foot tall, right-handed batter. Bradfield takes off for third. Suggs to throw to third on a bounce. It's not in time again. So Bradfield, 2 steals in 2 at-bats from Trimble and Horvath. Now he's 90 feet away from scoring, and he picks up steal number 31.
I mean, he is just impressive. Enrique Bradfield Jr., he's getting a good read off Cornelio, who I would say is pretty slower to the plate. So Bradfield's taking advantage, and Matt Suggs back there really just has no choice. I mean, both of his throws were kind of just late, and immediately the infield's going to be in here in the first inning.
So with 1 out, everyone's on the fringe of the grass against Horvath. Next pitch to Horvath is a strike. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out.
Horvath, the second-round pick by the Orioles in 2023, trying to score the first-round pick by the Orioles in 2023. And good spot for him here early. Just needs a sac fly, something in play, and he hit it hard. I mean, it could easily get by one of these infielders that are playing all the way up. Surprisingly, that they're already up in the first.
Horvath batting .230 this year with 6 homers, 28 RBIs, went 1 for 3 last night with 2 runs and 2 walks and a stolen base. In a 1-1 count, runner in scoring position over at third. It's Enrique Bradfield Jr. down the third base line, but it hooks foul. 1-2 count for Horvath. It's Horvath with North Carolina, first-team All-American in 2023. Was ranked 10 10th in 2023 nationally in home runs with 24, and was the first UNC player to hit 20 homers, 20 doubles, and 20 stolen bases in a single season. He's had a lot of history with UNC. Trying to create history with Bradfield with one swing against Cornelio. 1-2 pitch is outside for ball 2.
And Horvath, you mentioned North Carolina, a team that just got eliminated from the NCAA College Baseball World Series. I mean, he was astonishing there. He was also one of 8 players with 2020 club, which is home runs and stolen bases in D1 in his junior year last year.
He's looking for hit number 43. Foul tipped, jammed on him as it goes to Mario Lasone into the dugout. Bradfield was racing home just on contact, and that's a little bit of a aggressive manner to have on the base pass with 1 out, Doc, because 2 outs makes sense. I mean, if you're out, you're out of the inning. But if he goes on contact, that means
they still might not get him. They
Yeah.
still might not get him.
Yeah, never know. 2-2 count. Cornelio trying to get out number 2 for the Blue Rocks, and it's a call. It's strike 3. Horvath goes down looking. Be the first strikeout on the day for Riley Cornelio. And strikeout number 48 as he's trying to get to that 50 mark, Doc, and we'll see if he can do that. But he's got Creed Willems in his way right now, who is the biggest power threat of Aberdeen. Leads the team with 10 home runs and is 5th in the South Atlantic League in RBIs, 7th in the South Atlantic League in home runs.
Somebody you definitely don't want to see at the plate with runners in scoring position.
Cornelio deals with the fastball outside. 1-0 count to Creed Willems. I wouldn't want to pitch to him either.
That's one thing I'm thinking about here is this going to be the intentional or unintentional intentional walk? I mean, you got 2 bases open. I know it's the first inning, but do you really want to face him with a runner at third?
In a moonshot and a lot of home runs against the Blue Rocks. Back in the series in May, their last game of that series, it was a day game. Hit a ball that almost reached Shipyard Drive down the right field line. One of the farthest in-person home runs I've ever seen. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Enrique Bradfield Jr. over at third base. The 1-1 pitch is 2 inside for ball 2.
But that pitch to Horvath that froze him, that beautiful off-speed from Cornelio. I think that's where he's going to have to find his success today, because that fastball can be hit by some of these very talked-about hitters.
2-1. Cornelio deals the pitch. It's low for ball 3. With Creed Willems' 10 home runs, he's had a home run in 4 out of his first 5 games of the season. 3 of those 4 were against the Blue Rocks, and he also had 2 home runs in the last series in May when these 2 teams met up. This is their 3rd series. And so 5 out of his 10 home runs have been against the Blue Rocks. 3-1 is low for ball 4. That unintentional, intentional walk. More likely than not, you definitely don't want Creed Willems to put bat on ball, and in steps Carter Young, who you don't really want to see put the bat on the ball either, because last night he had a home run for himself.
And Carter Young's still a very talented hitter, but it's the pick your poison, right? I mean, so far this year he's not really hitting too well, just 158, but he can be a very talented player. I mean, 2022 draft pick that, as a 17th round pick, has already found himself in high A.
He's currently on a 5-game hit streak, 7 total. His past 5 games. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Little low for Cornelio's first pitch. Cornelio out of TCU, 2022 second team All Big 12, as well as first team academic All Big 12. His teammates with Elijah Nunez, who's in right field for the Blue Rocks. The 0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2, so 2 strikes for Riley Cornelio. But we'll take a look at the defensive arrangement for the Blue Rocks. Matt Suggs behind the dish. He's doing the work from home. Joe Narano, he's over at first base. Viendo Pena at second. Kevin Mate at short. Gavin Dugas manning the hot corner. And from left to right, it's Jared McKenzie, Jonathan Thomas, and Elijah Nunez. And it's an 0-2 count for Carter Young. Cornelio set with the runners on the corners, trying to keep it a scoreless top half of the first. The 0-2 pitch to Carter Young's way outside. Almost looked like an intentional walk pitch. And it's a 1-2 count for the third baseman for Aberdeen, who's batting 158 with 2 home runs, 20 RBIs, as well as 27 hits this season. 2022 draft pick by the Orioles in the 17th round. Again, 2 for 3 with a 3-run homer in the 12-7 loss for Aberdeen. Grounded first base side, but it goes foul off the right field foul wall, and it stays at 1-2.
Carter Young, former player at Vanderbilt. Enrique Bradfield Jr. over there at third. Same year as him. Enrique Bradfield Jr. got drafted in 2023. Carter Young,
teammates.
In 2022. So they have definitely probably scored each other multiple times. Let's see if Carter Young can score his former college teammate here in high A baseball.
He was the consistent shortstop for Vanderbilt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's grounded over to Viendo Pena at second base. He fields it. He underhands it to first in time for out number 3. So the Blue Rocks go scoreless in the top half of the first. And Aberdeen will be on the mound, and the Blue Rocks will swing the twig for the first time today as we head to the bottom of the first. Still 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory's been never giving up hope.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey, it's Lee Kirshner from the 80s Arcade, Saturday mornings from 10 till noon, only on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. And now, let's get back to the game.
Here at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, we are celebrating Juneteenth, and we thank you guys for spending your Wednesday evening with us tonight. With you is myself, Jack Miller. Alongside me is Aiden Doherty. Aberdeen Ironbirds taking on the Wilmington Blue Rocks in high A baseball, minor league baseball. And Doc, 0-0, bottom of the first. Blue Rocks coming up to bat for the first time. Aberdeen was able to get their first hit from an Enrique Bradfield Jr. bunt down the third base line, but that's the only hit of this ball game, only number on the board. The Blue Rocks looking to attack early after having a 12-7 win last night.
And it's all about hitting with runners in scoring position. That's what baseball pretty much is all about. You know, sometimes that long ball isn't always there, but it is hot out, so it might be there today. But first off, the Aberdeen Ironbirds didn't take advantage of a runner at third with just one out. Weren't able to get one of their fastest players pretty much in their whole organization home. And now here comes one of the fastest players in the Nationals organization up to lead off.
Yep, it's that time. It's 2-time. Jonathan Thomas steps in to the right-hander's batter's box. The first pitch from Luis De Leon is a strike at the knees for strike one. So Jonathan Thomas down in the count early. Luis De Leon, a left-hander for the Orioles high A affiliate, standing at 6'3", 168 pounds. Jonathan Thomas grounded over to shortstop to Jalen Vasquez. The throw to first is in time just by half a step. Jonathan Thomas on 2 pitches goes down for the first out. And now steps in for the Blue Rocks, Viendo Pena, the second baseman.
A nice play over there at short. I mean, Vasquez had to rush that one because you knew who was running, Jonathan Thomas, and you mentioned it, half a step. That's exactly what happened. But another good play. Aberdeen, really very good defensive team, especially for being a good offensive team. But last night it didn't really show.
The pitch from the DR native is the switch hitter Viendo Pena shows bunt but holds back. De Leon from the Dominican Republic at 6'3", at 21 years old. 1 win, 3 losses this season between Delmarva and Aberdeen. Next pitch is in the dirt for ball 2. Viendo Pena in a hitter's count, 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out with nobody on in the bottom of the first. 3.28 ERA between both those teams for De Leon in 11 starts. 46 2/3 innings pitch as Viendo Pena gives one a ride into center field. After it is Enrique Bradfield Jr. just a few steps before the warning track, and he makes the catch for out number 2. But wind is pushing out. Now it's kind of pushing towards right field a little bit, Doc, but it is hot. So on a day like this, we see a lot of players heat up.
Yeah, the ball just flies. I mean, in this weather, it's perfect weather, what feels like. It might be a little hot to some, but, it's baseball weather, and the ball can fly. That one looked like a routine fly out, but Enrique Bradfield Jr. kept going back. Just hit it a little bit too high there.
First pitch to Kevin Made, the 3-hole batter. Takes for strike high. Looking at the defensive arrangement for the Aberdeen Ironbirds. We'll take a look after it. After this pitch from De Leon, it's outside. It's Adam Retzbach behind the dish. Creed Willems over at first. Angel Tejada, he's at second. Jalen Vasquez over at short. Carter Young at third. And from left to right, it's Douglas Hodo the third, Enrique Bradfield Jr., and Reed Trimble as Made swings through. Strike two. 1-2 count with 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the first. Scoreless. No hits for the Blue Rocks in the bottom of the first yet. De Leon has picked up around a 4.82 ERA with Aberdeen solely this year in his 4 starts. Made grounds one to shortstop. Vasquez fields it across the diamond to first in time for out number 3. A quick bottom of the first for the Blue Rocks and the defense of Aberdeen. Still 0-0 as we go to the top of the second. We'll see what Aberdeen can do when we come back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
Maryland Avenue Sub Shop offers hot and cold sandwiches. Located at 623 Maryland Avenue in Wilmington, right down the road from the ballpark. In operation for over 35 years, Maryland Avenue Sub Shop serves cheesesteaks, subs, sub trays, and a variety of other deli items from Italian subs to roast beef. Their number is 302-654-1737. Maryland Avenue Sub Shop at the corner of Maryland Avenue and Beach Street in Wilmington. Maryland Avenue Sub Shop, a proud sponsor of Blue Rocks Baseball on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
I'm Allie Bruce from the Rowan Report. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 9:30 on Rowan Radio. And now, back to the game.
9-pitch outing so far for De Leon. Scoreless as we go to the top of the second. Aberdeen back up to bat. With you is myself, Jack Miller, as well as Aiden Doherty. And Aiden, Riley Cornelio, scoreless in the first. Had some trouble with runners on the corners, but only gave up 1 hit. Gave up a walk to Creed Willems, and now he has to deal with the bottom of the order. He's got Hodo, Vasquez, Retzbach, and Tejada all due up for the Aberdeen Ironbirds. We'll at least see Hodo, Vasquez, and Retzbach as Tejada is batting 4th this inning. But he's 9th in the lineup card. But Cornelio has been dealing, and he's been really solid at home as well all season.
Yeah, Cornelio, just has been fantastic at home. If you want to look at his last couple home starts, so he had 1 home start this month against Hudson Valley, 3 earned runs and 7 innings pitched. A very, very good outing for him. The one previously to that was against the Aberdeen Ironbirds. He went 6 innings, allowing just 2 runs and 5 hits. And if you want to look at his first start at home in May, 5 2/3, 1 earned run, just 5 hits. So that's 6 earned runs combined in 3 starts. Just very good numbers across the board.
Cornelio deals to Hodo for a first pitch strike at the letters. 0-1 count for the left fielder who stands in the right-hander's batter's box. Douglas Hodo III out of Texas University, as well as Houston, Texas, his hometown. Next pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. It's his 3rd year in the minor leagues, 23 years old, at 6 foot tall. Was a 6th-round draft pick back in 2022 by the Orioles. He played with Delmarva and Aberdeen last season. He was injured towards that back half of the season as well. Hodo grounds one down the third base line, but it goes foul. So count extends to Cornelio's favor, 1-2 count. But Hodo was on the full season injured list after June 25th, and he only played 15 games with Aberdeen. Had a .098 average, 3 RBIs, 4 hits, and 5 walks for the Ironbirds. But this year he's batting .237 after becoming fully healthy. Cornelio set. The 1-2 pitch to Hodo is neck level for ball 2. Cornelio already with 1 strikeout. Struck out Horvath in the first inning. Trying to look to get strikeout number 2 on Hodo in a 2-2 count. No outs and nobody on in the top of the second. Here's the pitch from Cornelio. It's drilled into center field. After it is Jonathan Thomas, but he'll let it fall for a base hit. Hodo will get on base. It'll be the second hit for Aberdeen today on a 2-2 count. And if you're Cornelio, you got to make sure that those balls don't hover over the heart of the plate, because guys like Hodo or anyone in this lineup can give it a ride and get on base.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. Just a level bat on his swing path. And Thomas a little bit shaded to the left side when he came up in Hodo, and he was able to dink that one down right in front of him before he was able to get to it. It looked like Thomas was going to make a phenomenal play with the way. It looked like from here his eyes were getting big as he was getting ready to make a diving play, but just a little too shallow.
First pitch to Vasquez is in the dirt for a ball. Jalen Vasquez, the shortstop for the Aberdeen Ironbirds out of Summerville, South Carolina. It's his second year in the minors, as he was a 2023 draft pick in the 20th round by the Orioles. Played in rookie ball and Low A Delmarva last season. Cornelio deals for the second pitch, and it's a strike on the outside half of the plate. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Retzbach not too far from here. A Lehigh alum. And he's on deck, so see if he can have a homecoming, but there's somebody in front of him if Vasquez can find a way to move the runners.
1-1 is outside, but called a strike. Vasquez not too happy upon it, but no matter what, it's ruled a strike. 34 hits for Vasquez this season, 21 stolen bases as well, 224 batting average, 17 RBIs, only 1 long ball this year. He went 0 for 3 last night with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Cornelio trying to get him to swing, and he fouls one off the end of the bat into the third base seats. First foul ball that reaches the seats today. So it'll be the first souvenir for the fan.
Yeah, it looked like right there they did a little bit of a fake steal on first. Hodo looked like he was going to go and made, Suggs kind of stand up and try to catch that one. And luckily enough for, Aberdeen, that Suggs kind of got fooled on it.
So they're going to try and pick off the runner at first of Douglas Hodo. So Hodo safe at first. Morano over at first base. We usually see a lot of people over at first this season. Frizzell, TJ White. Now it's Narano, who they just picked up not too long ago. We'll get into him as he comes up to bat next inning, as Suggs could not pick up the ball out of his glove. It hits the dirt, and it's an easy stolen bag for Hodo.
Or I believe they're going to call it a foul ball, a foul tip.
Okay, so it's a foul tip, so Hodo's going to go back to first.
Because I was wondering, because it would have been a strikeout if it was a swing and miss. So they called it a foul tip, so it looked like it could have been a strikeout, throw him out. But I thought he just dropped the ball, but it got foul tipped, and still alive is Vasquez at the dish.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. But
yeah.
Still a 1-2 count for Vasquez. No outs in the top of the second. Leadoff base runner for Aberdeen. He's over at first. It's Hodo. 1-2 pitch. Off speed, 2 outside, and a little high as well. Makes it a 2-2 count for Jalen Vasquez. Had 5 hits in the last series that they had against the Hickory Crawdads, where they had a lot of offense in those games. 15-12 was the last score of that series. That one's drilled up the middle for a base hit. Hodo's rounding second. He will chug on over to third. Jonathan Thomas will throw it in from center field. And runners are on the corners again, but this time with no outs. Riley Cornelio getting a little shaken up. And Doc, in his 3 starts against Aberdeen, he has a 7.14 ERA with only 1 win, which is at home, and 2 losses, both on the road, in 11 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 9 earned runs in those 3 starts. And Aberdeen is trying to just do the same, but this time at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium.
Yeah, those first 2 losses were actually his first 2 games of the year as well on April 9th and April 14th. He allowed 7 combined earned runs and 5 1/3 combined innings pitched. Then he battled back against them on May 16th, allowing just 2 earned runs and 6 innings, picking up the win. But right now, some threatening happening early as he's very good at home. I think his most runs he's allowed at home is 3, and that was in 7 innings.
Dropped bunt from Adam Retzbach, the catcher for Aberdeen, but it goes foul. So 0-1 count for the catcher. Was the designated hitter yesterday. As yesterday he went 0 for 2 with an RBI as well as 2 walks. He's currently on a 7-game on-base streak since June 4th. Runners on the corners with no outs in the top of the second. Pitch is just outside. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. As earlier this June against Brooklyn, he was able to collect a cycle in 2 days. He was able to get a single, double, and a triple on June 5th. And then the next day, he had a home run.
2-day cycle. Never heard of that before.
Yeah. 1-1 pitch is a dropped bunt, but it goes foul off of Matt Suggs, the catcher. He throws it back to the dugout. 1-2 count for Adam Retzbach, who's batting .185 this year. 22 hits so far this season. 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. .632 OPS. 14th round draft pick by the Orioles. He was injured for most of the season last year. started in Aberdeen. In a 1-2 count against Cornelio with runners on the corners. Huge opportunity for Aberdeen to start the scoring early as the next pitch is in the dirt that Matt Suggs blocks right behind the left-hander's batter's box. So it extends to a 2-2 count.
You mentioned the cycle in 2 days. It makes me kind of think of, what if MLB, kind of adopts a cycle, and if it's a doubleheader? You had a home run and triple in one game and a double and a single in the next. Why can't you call it a cycle?
Yeah, fair point.
Especially with 7-inning games down here in the minors.
2-2 is jammed and fouled away, straight back towards the Sweets. So we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But again, last year he was injured for most of the season, but started in Aberdeen, went on a rehab assignment in Delmarva, but couldn't stay healthy, and he only played 32 games last season. Back fully healthy, and he's on a 7-game on-base streak. Trying to get another RBIs. He had one yesterday. Cornelio calls time, so the pitch clock will reset. Again, 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, runners on the corners, Hodo at third, Vasquez over at first. 3 hits so far for the Ironbirds. 2 of them come in this inning. As the runner takes off, as it's a line shot over to Made on a line, and it's thrown over to first in time for out number 1, but a run does score off the one hopper over to Made. So 1 out for the Blue Rocks, but it's already 1-0.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there, just getting a pitch kind of close to the plate, and he was able to get that one. It looked like off the end of the bat, hit it to the left side, and luckily enough for Aberdeen, that one was not hit in the air, or else Made could have had a fantastic double play right there. But it's all about capitalizing with runners in scoring position, whether that's by productive outs or by base hits, and they still have runners in scoring position here.
Here's Angel Tejada. Just recently got called up from Delmarva. 5'10" right-hander at 20 years old out of the Dominican Republic. He's batting .241 this season. The 1-0 count to Riley Cornelio as he chops one over to shortstop. Made makes the play at short to throw to first. The speed from Tejada is blazing, but he's out by a step or two for out number 2. Tejada with a lot of speed, and now there's a runner at third as the runner from second, Jalen Vasquez, heads to third. So now another runner 90 feet away from scoring. That's the 3rd runner at third base today, Doc, and it's already the 2nd inning. 1-0, though, as we'll see if Cornelio can do the same with Enrique Bradfield Jr. up at the plate.
Back to the top of the order, and Enrique already had an infield single last time.
And he drills one up the middle. It's going to be Made the whole inning. The throw to first in time. 3 G6s in the book for Kevin Made for the top of the 2nd. 1 run does score, 2 hits for the Aberdeen Ironbirds, but it was all Kevin Made defensively for the Wilmington Blue Rocks. We're going to go to the bottom of the 2nd, where the Blue Rocks come back up to bat. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
It's time for an outdoor adventure with Go Ape. Come explore our breathtaking zip lines and aerial obstacles at Lum's Pond State Park in Bear, Delaware. Go Ape has 2 treetop rope courses with massive zip lines and over 65 crossings, 20 to 40 feet up in the air. We've also added the Monkey Drop, a free fall experience to get your adrenaline pumping. Visit goape.com for details, including our updated COVID-19 policies to keep you safe. Go Ape. Live life adventurously.
Hey, this is Gary Daidolo, your host of the Icon Rock Show, Saturdays at 5 p.m. on Rowan Radio. And now let's get back to the game.
Welcome back to Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, and we're in the midst of the traditional eyeball race here at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium. I picked blue.
I think he deflated. I think his eyeball deflated over there.
Unfortunate for blue, but blue did win. I did pick blue. You picked green.
Man, green, I was a depressing performance. I'm not going to lie. We're going to have to talk about that after this inning. I'm going to have to talk to him about that performance. We'll get it back tomorrow, and we'll be here Friday. So hopefully we can run it back here Friday. But green loses, and just a bad loss, and it's sad. But those are always fun, and it's kind of funny because it looked like the blue eye,
it started deflating,
its body or whatever you would call it, the eyeball deflated as it crossed and won the race. So do we count it, or does Green Eye win by disqualification?
I mean, he was still running.
I don't know, man.
Come on.
I don't know.
I'll take this one. Well, if it happens again, you'll take the next one.
I'll check the rule
To be
book.
fair, your Green Eye ball was running in straightaway center field. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know. He was trying to get an autograph from Enrique Bradfield Jr. I mean, who doesn't, right?
Yeah, 1-0 count to who is up? It's Joe Narana for the Wilmington Blue Rocks. A lot of eyeball talk in this bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Aberdeen leads. They got that one run in the top of the second. Scored on a ground out by Adam Retzbach. Douglas Soto able to score from third. DeLeon still on the mound for Aberdeen. And a 2-1 count to Narano. He's got an interesting backstory. Was a 2019 third-round draft pick by the, at the time, Cleveland Indians, now known as the Cleveland Guardians. 101st pick overall. As he takes for strike 2. But one pick after the century mark, and he was with the Akron Rubber Ducks, as well as the Lake County Captains. Next pitch to Narano. Did he go around? He did, so it'll be another strikeout for DeLeon. Actually, the first strikeout for DeLeon. So Narano goes down on strikes, as yesterday he went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs in his first game as a Blue Rock. But the Rubber Ducks released him on June 3rd, and the Nationals assigned him to the Blue Rocks as soon as they could, pretty much. And with Akron in 2024, he had 34 games played, 23 hits, with a .211 batting average, only 1 home run, 3 doubles, and 13 RBIs, as Jared McKenzie takes for first pitch strike.
Solid minor league career, but Nationals picked him up now.
Jared McKenzie up the middle for a base knock. Welcome back, Jared McKenzie, who went 1 for 4 with a double yesterday and gets another base knock today. Was with Fredericksburg on a rehab assignment to get back to Wilmington, and he is back indeed. 2 straight games with a hit. It's great to see him back, especially out in left field. He's great defensively, great on the base paths. Kind of a hidden 5-tool player, hidden gem.
Yeah, no, he made a lot of noise in April. I mean, a couple walk-offs. I think one was the home run, one was a sac fly, I believe. It's been a while, but now he's back. And, yesterday he had an RBI double, and now he's a single.
First pitch is a strike for Matt Suggs, the catcher for the Blue Rocks. DeLeon has 1 loss with Aberdeen this season. 18 2/3 innings pitched coming into today. Giving up 10 earned runs as Suggs swings through another strike. 0-2 count. Suggs batting .197 this year with 15 hits. 1 long ball and 9 RBIs, scoring 11 runs for himself. DeLeon is a strikeout guy coming into this game. 20 strikeouts in 18 2/3 for Aberdeen, and then with Delmarva in low A. In 28 innings pitched, he had 41 strikeouts. He was able to get his first strikeout on Narano in the top of the second for the first out. But he has a runner at first with Jared McKenzie with Matt Suggs up at the plate. 0-2 count is swung on and missed for strikeout number 2. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts for Luis DeLeon. And in steps Jeremy De La Rosa. We're getting a lot of old but new faces. Jared McKenzie coming back into the lineup. Jeremy De La Rosa coming back earlier in June, in the earlier part of June, Doc. So we're seeing a lot of old and a lot of new for the Blue Rocks, and that's kind of what you want to see.
Yeah, familiar faces that can do damage, and Jeremy De La Rosa can do that.
Takes outside for ball 1. Gavin Dugas on deck. Nunez in the hole for the Blue Rocks. Jeremy De La Rosa with 2 outs and a runner at first. 1-0 count. So far with the Blue Rocks batting .183. As he takes low for ball 2. 24th prospect ranked from the Nationals, who signed as an undrafted free agent in 2018. And he was at one point the number 8 prospect for the Nationals last season. And a 2-0 count, takes inside, 2 inside for ball 3. Red light or green light, Doc?
Oh, it's green light always, especially to a hitter like De La Rosa, who can do some damage. 2 home runs for the Blue Rocks this year, and also 13 hits. So I'd give him the green light. Why not?
3-0 is half swung at for strike 1. He did have the green light.
Maybe not on that pitch.
Yeah, that was ball 4.
Yeah, that one was spiked into the dirt, and it looked even outside as well. So not the greatest pitch, but still a hitter's count here. It is a lefty-lefty matchup, but De La Rosa can still take advantage of that.
But he's in a hitter's count now. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. De Leon throws back to first to Jared McKenzie. Creed Willems checks on him. But he's safe. He got back in time. Still 3-1 count for the designated hitter of Jeremy De La Rosa. A lot of speed in the outfield tonight with McKenzie, Thomas, and Nunez. De Leon looks at first. The 3-1 pitch to De La Rosa. Swung on and missed. Another ball that was dealt from De Leon. And 5 balls, but it's a 3-2 count for Jeremy De La Rosa with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. 1-0. Aberdeen leads against the Wilmington Blue Rocks. Got their first run in the top of the second. De Leon gets set on the mound. Looks at first again. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's drilled out into center field. After it is Enrique Bradfield Jr. to his left and right center field. He makes the catch for out number 3. They get some noise with a Jared McKenzie single, but after that, it was 2 strikeouts and a flyout for Luis De Leon and the defense for Aberdeen. We're going to go to the top of the third, still 1-0. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments and honor the all-time greats of the game. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
Hey, this is Gavin Trutzenbach from Gavin's Rock Lab. Monday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. here on Rowan Radio. And now, let's get back to the game.
Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field. Blue Rocks taking on the Aberdeen Ironbirds, one of the classic South Atlantic League North rivalries in minor league baseball and high A baseball. But welcome, everyone, and thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us. Myself, Jack Miller, alongside Aiden Doherty. Aiden, for the Aberdeen Ironbirds, they're up 1-0 against the Blue Rocks. Blue Rocks got their 30th win last night, winning 12-7. And now they have to deal with 2, 3, and 4, Trimble, Horvath, and Willems for Riley Cornelio, the pitcher for the Blue Rocks. So it's got a pretty good handful for the top of the third, where they already gave up 1 run to the bottom of the order of Aberdeen.
Yeah, you let the bottom of the order make some noise, and now when that happens, typically trouble comes up in the top of the order. They were able to get Enrique Bradfield Jr. to ground down pretty much up the middle to Mate at short, but now you got 2, 3, 4, so it could be danger zone yet again. But let's see if Cornelio bunkers down and finds a way to have a clean inning.
It's the first pitch to Reed Trimble. Takes outside for ball 1. Reed Trimble flew out in his first at-bat to Jonathan Thomas. He's due up in the bottom of the third. So he's 0 for 1 today. Here's the next pitch from Cornelio. It's drilled out into right field. After it is Elijah Nunez. He barely has to make a move on it. Makes the catch and straight away right. A little tongue twister there. But it's out number 1 for the Blue Rocks in the top of the third. Quick 2-pitch out.
Yeah, that one looked like a good piece of hitting off the bat, but it kind of just died out there, surprisingly, even with this hot weather. And only took a couple steps over for Nunez, and that's out number 1.
We're in the midst of a heat wave in the United States, as it's a high pop-up in the infield. Viendel Pena calling the whole infield off. He'll make the catch at second base for out number 2. 3 pitches, 2 outs. Can't get any better than that, Doc.
Yeah, good job by Cornelio to bounce back after kind of allowing those 2 early base runners in the last inning on back-to-back singles. He only allowed 1 run, but good job to get 2 quick outs in the third and have a little bit of a bounce-back inning.
Here comes Creed Willems, one of the more dangerous bats of the South Atlantic League. Fouls one, drills one into the Blue Rocks dugout, and it's foul. Looks like it hit off one of the backside of the chairs of one of the players in the dugout. Thankfully, that chair was there to protect his back. 0-1 count for Creed.
Yeah, Willems is just one of those players. I mean, just an 8th-round pick, and he's already found himself as a 20-year-old to be very talked about prospect in the Orioles organization.
0-1 is a strike, so 0-2 count for Creed Willems.
Funny enough, he was actually, originally a catcher, but, now I feel like they're just going to try to make him a first baseman.
Number 29th prospect for the Orioles, 8th round pick back in 2021. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt for ball one. Creed Williams actually committed to TCU before getting drafted.
From Texas, so makes a lot of sense. Wanted to play in his backyard. And TCU, a very solid baseball program as well. And decided to sign with the Orioles after being an 8th-round pick. And right now it's looked like it's worked for him.
Cornelio, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2 for Riley Cornelio, as he had one in the first to Horvath, and now this time in the third to Creed Williams, one of the most powerful bats in the South Atlantic League. And a quick top of the third. We're going to go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0, and we'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
Are you experimenting with e-cigarettes? That makes you an e-cig guinea pig, because only now are studies being done to identify the dangers vaping exposes your lungs to. Don't be an e-cig guinea pig. See through the vapor at thedirtytruth.com.
This is Victoria Baker from the Early Bird Special, Monday through Fridays from 7 to 9 a.m. here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. And now let's get back to the game.
Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field, bottom of the third. Blue Rocks down 1 against the Aberdeen Ironbirds. 1-0 as Luis De Leon still on the mound for Aberdeen. 8-9-1 due up for the Blue Rocks. Gavin Dugas, Elijah Nunez, and the center fielder Jonathan Thomas all due up for the Blue Rocks. And the lineup card will flip over at Jonathan Thomas. You're talking about in the pregame, Doc. You kind of like Thomas in that one-hole spot where he could be a contact hitter, the true contact hitter that he is, just to get on base by any ways necessary.
I mean, if he gets on base, it's trouble. So that's always going to be, a very fun thing to watch if he can find a way to get on base. And to start this game, though, he grounded out the shortstop, almost beat it out, though. So it's a good way to possibly get an inning and a game started in general if he can get on base. And I think that might be the goal with him in the leadoff spot.
He's due up third for the bottom of the third. Blue Rocks with 1 hit, no runs. Aberdeen with 3 hits and 1 run. And Gavin Dugas will step in for the Blue Crew. Gavin Dugas went 1 for 5 yesterday with 2 RBIs and 3 strikeouts. Out of Louisiana, went to LSU. Second year in the minor leagues, lefty on righty action. Dugas, the right-hander, takes outside for a ball. Dugas has just been an extra base hit machine, Doc, and it's great to see that he can just barrel it up here in Wilmington or on the road.
And he did it at LSU in college as well.
There's a shot down the left field line, and it will drop in for a base hit. Gavin Dugas is going to try and race for second, but he puts on the brakes and go back to first. No one's covering, so he can just easily get back to first.
He almost had it.
He almost did have it. He almost did have another double, but
you almost called it out of thin air, and instead it was just a great job over there by the left fielder. And a phenomenal play by Hodo. He kind of robbed him of extra bases, but
he got there quick.
Yeah.
Got a lot of speed in the outfield for both teams. For the Ironbirds, it's Hodo, Bradfield Jr., and Trimble. First pitch to Elijah Nunez is taken at the letters for a ball. He's got a runner at first with Gavin Dugas. Elijah Nunez, the right fielder today, batting 128. He's out of Texas just like his counterpart of Creed Williams. The 1-0 pitch to Nunez. 2 outside for ball 2. Hitters count for Elijah. He also went to TCU. Teammates with Riley Cornelio's on the mound.
A lot of Texas natives meeting up here in Wilmington, Delaware. It's where, it's baseball country down there, some people say.
Yeah. 2-0. 2 outside in the dirt as well for ball 3. Elijah Nunez, he's quick as well, and we'll see what he can do if he can get on the base paths. Maybe draw a walk. He had 3 walks yesterday. 3 runs scored. Did not get a hit, though. He's 0 for 2. 3-0. Down the heart of the plate for a strike. Should have asked if it was red light, green light again, but 3-1 again.
Lefty, I think they typically try to give the red light.
5 hits so far with the Blue Rocks this season for Elijah Nunez. Neck level for ball 4, and Elijah Nunez creates more traffic on the base paths with the walk. Dugas goes to second. Nunez goes to first. And now it's the top of the order. It's Jonathan Thomas in center field. And one of the greatest center fielders of all time, unfortunately yesterday, passed away. San Francisco Giants outfielder Willie Mays passed away at 93 years old, Doc. Honestly, you could call him the GOAT of center field. Obviously, there's Ken Griffey Jr., Mickey Mantle, all those guys to counteract him, but easily one of the best 5-tool players of all time, 24-time All-Star for Willie Mays.
I mean, just a ridiculous player we can talk about for a while.
Jonathan Thomas drops down a bunt. Carter Young barehands it, throw to first, not in time. Creed Willems was off the bag as he was trying to play the bunt down the first base line. He had to get back to first, but Jonathan Thomas beat him out, and the bases are loaded with no outs.
Yeah, great bunt there by Thomas. Way to get down there. I mentioned the speed. He's a playmaker, and he did it right there. And just phenomenal bunt down the third base line. It looks like they're going to have a little bit of a meeting at the mound, and it's going to allow us to talk about Willie Mays a little bit longer because there's a lot to talk about with Willie Mays. The Say Hey kid, is somebody that impacted the game not only on the field but off the field, and he's a big reason why HBCU athletics are a big thing. It sucks because MLB, literally tomorrow going to his hometown to kind of honor HBCU in a game that's going to be on Fox. I believe that's going to be between the Giants and the I believe Cubs, but it's one of those players that impacted the game as much off the field as he did on the field. And, I saw everybody kind of pour out emotions. He lived up to the great age of 93, and you got to see a lot of his success, pan out. And I think one of the things I saw yesterday, but the Giants radio announcer had to announce kind of to the fan. Not had to, but I think they thought, everybody should know. And, he was on the verge of tears. And I think that just kind of speaks to the man who Willie Mays was. And phenomenal on the field, and you could talk about it on the field all the time, but I mean, even off the field, he was spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, he was so spectacular that you even had Vin Scully, the LA Dodgers play-by-play radio broadcast or TV broadcaster for the longest time, as that pitch is taken outside by Viandel Pena for a ball. He said that he admitted to Willie Mays that he was the favorite player, even though he wore the wrong jersey. and he's the broadcaster for the Dodgers. I mean, a phenomenal player in the majors. Pena swing and a miss through a strike as he wanted all of that one. Looking to try and get his first Blue Rocks home run in grand style. 1-1 count for the second baseman, switch hitter out of the Dominican Republic. Flew out in his first at-bat to center field. 1-1 pitched, another big hack for strike two.
Big spot here for the Blue Rocks. Bases loaded. I mean, you got to get something here. You're only down 1-0 here in the third, and there's nobody down, and you got right now 2, 3, 4 due up.
It's not just bases loaded. It's bases loaded, no outs.
Yeah.
Pena rips one up the middle, but it's going to be the shortstop of Vasquez stepping on the second base bag for one and over to first in time for out number two. But a run does score. An RBI grounded into a double play, and in comes Mr. Celery. His first appearance today. 2 outs in the bottom of the third, and this game is tied at 1 apiece.
Just a tough spot there. It looked like Pena got a good rip on that baseball, but, I mean, you're hitting it right to the shortstop pretty much, and Vasquez just kind of went a little bit to his left, stepped on the bag, made a throw. It was a very easy double play.
First pitch at the knees for Made for a strike. He's also looking for his first Blue Rocks home run. He's actually tied for most walks. He's the 11th. He's tied for 11th in the South Atlantic League with Josenberger, who is one of the Aberdeen Ironbirds of this team. He's not in the lineup. He wasn't in the lineup yesterday either, but they both have 32 walks. 11th in the South Atlantic League. 1-1. Fouled behind the plate. 1-2 for Kevin Made.
Made just has dominated Aberdeen so far this year. In 13 games, 10 walks, 13 hits. I mean, an over 500 on-base percentage for the shortstop, but he's tailing the count 1-2 now.
3 for 4 yesterday with a double and 2 RBIs. He had a great day yesterday in the win. Swung on and missed, and that'll do it for the bottom of the third as Made goes down swinging, the third victim for Luis De Leon. And it's a tie ball game now as we head to the top of the fourth inning. It's 1-1. Both teams now with 3 hits as well. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
If you or someone you are with are experiencing a medical distress from a suspected overdose, dial 911 immediately. The state of Delaware has enacted a Good Samaritan law that protects individuals that aid a victim during an emergency from liability or arrest. Calling 911 can save the life of a relative or friend. The Good Samaritan law protects someone calling for help from arrest and criminal prosecution. This message brought to you by Attack Addiction, the Greater Wilmington Radio Association, and this station.
This is Sue Schilling, your host for Everything Special Needs, Saturday at 8 a.m. on Rowan Radio. And now let's get back to the game.
A single, a walk, a single, and a double play results into a run for the Blue Rocks. They ended the inning with a Kevin Made strikeout, but bases loaded, no outs, Doc. They were able to get 2 hits on the board, 3 total on the night, and it's now a 1-1 game. But when you have the bases loaded, 1 out, or no outs, I should say, that hurts that you only get 1 run.
Yeah, it feels like when you have bases loaded and no outs, I mean, there really isn't a rule in baseball for it. But if I was a head coach, if we don't get 2 runs at least in that inning, we kind of fouled. And right there, just a hard hit, double play, a nice play by Vasquez over there at short to kind of corral it and then step on the bag and fire across the first for 2. But just disappointing, especially not because there's bases loaded, no outs. There's bases loaded, no outs, and you had your 2-hitter, 3-hitter, and 4-hitter set to do up. And, you only got 1 run, but it is a tie ball game. It's tied across the board. I mean, 1 run for each team, 3 hits for each team, and no errors for each team.
It's interesting that 2, 3, and 4, Doc, for the Blue Rocks combined this season only have 1 long ball. It's an interesting lineup approach for the Blue Rocks.
Maybe the hot weather can possibly change that because you need some of those long balls.
It's a dropped bunt for Carter Young, and it'll go foul behind home plate. 0-1 count to start off the second at-bat for Carter Young. He grounded out over to Viendo Pena at second base. He's over at third today, manning the hot corner.
And it's funny you kind of mentioned the home runs because, Willems, obviously, a home run hitter, has 10, and, Matt Horvath has 6 behind him. They have home runs pretty much all across their lineup.
Looking to continue his 5-game hit streak. As yesterday, he went 2 for 3 with a 3-run homer. Also 2 stolen bases. Total of 4 RBIs in the loss. 1-1 pitch outside. 2-1.
We don't see too many home runs in minor leagues as much as we do in the big leagues. And, the stadiums are around the same size. The fields, most of them are the generic 400 to straightaway center.
A pop fly into foul ground, third base side. It'll go over the sweets to Judy Johnson drive.
I think a lot of these players might just be used to playing in those college fields where, it's not an MLB level, field. It's, it's 325 to left and right, and it's not too hard to have 20 home run season, but kind of adjusting to the deeper dimensions here and all across minor leagues.
2-2 to Carter Young is outside for ball 3. And you were mentioning it in the ride here that you're watching some of the regional, super regional games for the College World Series as well, and that some of these SEC stadiums are a little smaller than you've seen before in college. 3-2 pitch from Cornelio is way outside for ball 4. Carter Young gets on base for the first time today via the walk, and Carter Young will be a leadoff base runner. And this is where the lineup really started to heat it up. The bottom of the order, Douglas Hodo, is the only run that has scored today as he got on base via the single and then got all the way around home as he was a leadoff base runner as well for Aberdeen in the second inning. Now in the top of the 4th, 1-1 ball game. Both teams still with 3 hits. Cornelio still trying to work his way through a quality start. First pitch is foul off the first base wall for Douglas Hodo. So it's an 0-1 count for the left fielder.
And Hodo was the one who broke the single to right center just in front of Jonathan Thomas in his first at-bat.
Got his first high A home run against Wilmington back on May 19th. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Way outside in the left-hander's batter's box to the right-hander. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's currently on a 4-game run streak and a 5-game on-base streak. He did not play yesterday. Runner at first. 1-1 pitch from Cornelio is low for ball 2. But Cornelio leads the team in wins as well as innings pitched. Strikeouts as well, 47 this year. So far in today's game, he's gotten 2, and if he gets another one, let's get that 50 mark. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. Suggs to throw to second. It will be in time. Carter Young got a little too greedy as he tried to steal second base. For the 9th time this season, he'll go back to the dugout with his head down. So caught stealing for Matt Suggs in the Blue Rocks defense. And Douglas Hodo has no runners on base and a 2-2 count, and now 1 out in the top of the 4th.
Interesting to attack with no outs and, a runner on, but they decided to do it. Matt Suggs made him pay.
Next pitch is too low, evens the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, but
he also didn't get a good jump. I mean, that was a pretty bad jump. As soon as Matt Suggs caught it, I was like, oh, he got him.
Yeah.
And, it took a solid throw, and he was out, but didn't get a good jump, and I think that's really what kind of made it all happen.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out for Cornelio and Hodo. Here's the pitch. Thought about, but it's too low for ball 4. Another walk for Cornelio. It'll be walk number 3 for Cornelio. He got 1 in the first and 2 this inning. But he was able to get some help from Matt Suggs to get the first out on the caught stealing not too long ago. And
yeah, you could have had back-to-back walks to start an inning, but they wanted to get aggressive. Typically, my personal rule is I don't really like to be aggressive on the base pass until there's at least an out recorded in the inning. And right there, they try to press their luck, and now they only have 1 base runner instead of 2.
Hodo with another fake steal as he took off originally, but stopped pretty much right before the corner of that bend in the infield grass.
I wonder if they do that to try to help them get a read, because they've done that multiple times tonight. Maybe they're trying to get a better read off Cornelio, so they're, quote-unquote stealing to start, but obviously pulling it back.
0-1 count for Vasquez. Takes low for ball 1. He had a single in his first at-bat, got all the way to third, but could not score. So we're at shortstop. Hodo leads off first. Cornelio set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Hodo takes off, and it's a pop fly straight back into foul ground towards the suites, off the top of the suites. And it'll extend to Cornelio's favor. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hodo will go back to first base. It has to be the read thing. He took off there. I mean, a lot of fake takeoffs. Interesting situation and interesting aggressiveness, I would say, for Aberdeen. Not just in this game, but the whole season. They have a lot of stolen bases this season. 185 so far, which leads the South Atlantic League. 1-2. 2 inside, almost hit Jalen Vasquez, and it's a 2-2 count.
And right there, you saw Cornelio kind of combat what they're doing, trying to steal bases. It looked like he took an extra breath before he let it go to kind of throw off timing. But, it just adds another aspect to the game. When you're afraid of runners on base and stealing bases, it can really throw off a pitcher. And sometimes you got to forget you got to pitch strikes, and you got to get it out at the plate.
2-2 count. Here's the pitch. It's grounded over to second base. Pena fields it a few steps to his left. He throws to first in time for out number 2. He thought about throwing to second originally, but just kind of pump faked it and then threw to first for out number 2. Now runners in scoring position. Hodo is over at second base after the grounder. Be a fielder's choice for Jalen Vasquez, and in steps Adam Retzbach.
And so right there, you saw a ground ball. As soon as it was hit, I was like, oh, is that going to be a double play? But it was hit a little bit too softly, and it was pulled a little bit too far to the first base bag. And Pena thought about throwing, but there was, you were risking too much to throw to second, because if you threw to second, you were not getting him out at first either.
First pitch outside as the sun starts to set here at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field. Still a 1-1 game in the top of the 4th. With you again is myself, Jack Miller. Aiden Doherty to my right. 2 outs in the top of the 4th in this tie ball game. Pitchers duel so far. 1-0 count to Retzbach. Takes inside for ball 2. Hitters count for the kid from PA. As you mentioned, Doc, he went to Lehigh.
Yeah, as soon as I hear Lehigh, I think of C.J. McCollum, the basketball player. But, I kind of forget that. That school's actually not too far from, the tri-state area.
He's the only guy with the RBI today for Aberdeen. 2-0. outside, but it catches it. 2-1.
Yeah, I know Lehigh the school, but calling these games and when they were here a month ago, I was like, oh, Lehigh baseball. I feel like I've never heard of that, but he was such a good player for them. He played catcher. He also played a little bit of first, and he's found his spot. I believe he's like almost a full-time catcher now.
2-1 is drilled down the left field line. It gets down for a base hit. Jared McKenzie racing after it, and it will be an RBI double for Retzbach. He strolls into second safely. Hoda will score from second, and it's now a 2-1 ball game. Adam Retzbach with both RBIs today for the Ironbirds, and they get the lead back. It's 2-1.
Retzbach, a very good player. The 23-year-old gets that one just a little bit over the heart of the plate, and he lines it down the left field line. And what feels like our first true RBI of the day. Everything else has kind of come from small ball. Right there, Retzbach got all of that baseball and gets himself an RBI.
So it'll be a mound visit with Mark DeFelice. He will talk to Riley Cornelio, who's through 3 2/3 innings, 2 strikeouts, now 2 earned runs as he faces the 9-hole hitter of Angel Tejada. But 70 pitches thrown, and it's the top of the 4th, Doc. He's definitely thrown a lot of waste pitches, I feel like. There's been a lot of counts where it's a crooked number in the ball column, and as a starting pitcher, you're kind of just looking to get batters out quick. I mean, sometimes trying to throw a ground ball pitch isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, he's trying to get that strikeout, but he's always been what feels like a soft contact pitcher, and he's trying to develop another part of his game.
Grounder over to shortstop. Mane makes the play on a hop over to first in time for out number 3. Another G6 for Tejada, as that's his second today. It'll be the 3rd out of the inning. It's now 2-1 after the RBI double from Adam Retzbach. Aberdeen up 1, and the Blue Rocks, we'll see if they can respond in the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
I am a veteran. I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding the help I needed. Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey, it's Lee Kirshner from the 80s Arcade, Saturday mornings from 10 till noon, only on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. And now, let's get back to the game.
4, 5, and 6 due up for the Blue Rocks. Norano, McKenzie, and Suggs due up for the Blue Crew, still facing Luis De Leon as the sun makes its sunset at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field. With you is myself, Jack Miller, as well as Aiden Doherty. Aiden, frozen T-shirt, defrost off, presented by Kimmel Carter. I know for a day like today, if it was around 3 o'clock, that would feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd immediately throw that shirt on, use it as, one of those, rags I'm sure these teams have in the dugout because it's hot. But luckily enough, the game was late enough to where, it's kind of cooled off, but I mean, when you walk outside at 2 o'clock getting ready to leave for the stadium to cover this game, you're like, oh, man, am I going to melt today? Or, you wonder, how hot it can possibly be. But, I mean, all across the week, it's going to be, you can say beautiful. You can also say not so beautiful with how hot it's going to be.
Depending where you're from. But we have severe weather, excessive heat watch until Saturday, 6 a.m., June 22nd, as on June 22nd, it'll be 96, as well as Sunday, which is the 23rd, 97.
Oh, man. Stay inside.
Too high for ball 1 to Norano. So we talked about it. He's originally from the Guardians organization with the Rubber Ducks. Earlier this season, the Nationals were able to pick him up and send him to High A, the Rubber Ducks in Double A. He's in High A with the Blue Rocks. 2-1 count for the first baseman. He tips it off the end of the bat for an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. From Whittier, California.
And funny enough, I mean, Norano, I believe, is from Chino Hills High School, and I believe that's the same school as, the
Yeah.
very talked about Ball brothers, and nice high school to say you're a part of.
Yeah, he goes down for another strikeout for strikeout number 4 for De Leon, strikeout number 2 for Narano. Yesterday, he went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a walk and a run. Really solid debut for the first baseman, but so far a little bit of a rough night. But in steps Jared McKenzie, who got a base hit in his first at-bat. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 lead for Aberdeen. So they were able to get their second run in the top of the 4th. RBI double from Adam Retzbach. He has both RBIs today. Jared McKenzie fouls one off the end of the bat. Into the screen. 1 ball, 1 strikes.
De Leon, as a pitcher, really doesn't go too deep into these games. He's now in the 4th, but his, most he's gone into a game has been 5 2/3. Now is in April, and since then it's just been 4 2/3. So this should be the inning where you start maybe seeing some signs of weakness, but right now he's looking good.
Jared McKenzie drills one off the third base screen. So 1-2 count, back-to-back hard hit foul balls for the left fielder. There's the 1-2 pitch. It's jammed, and it's over to first base to Creed Willems. He fields it clean. He's going to flip over to De Leon. Jared McKenzie, he did not beat it out. It'll be out at first base. It'll be out number 2. It's really, really close between De Leon and McKenzie's feet, but it's out number 2 for the Blue Rocks in the bottom of the 4th. And in steps in Matt Suggs, the sneaky power threat at the catcher's position.
McKenzie had speed all down the first base path, but good job by De Leon to cover that one, because it looked like Creed Willems could have possibly taken it himself, but he had to go a little bit over.
This pitch catches the zone for a strike. 0-1 count for Matt Suggs. He struck out in his last at-bat. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Deja vu here in the 4th. 0-2 count again for Matt Suggs. He went down on 3 pitches in his first at-bat. He has 2 outs and nobody on. In the bottom of the 4th, Blue Rocks trying to get their first lead of the game potentially, but we'll see what they can do in the 4th. He takes outside for ball 1. Sometimes you just got to play small ball, Doc.
Yeah, and
to
that's
get
what
that
they
lead.
kind of did to get their base runners on, have the bases loaded.
1-2, drilled down third base line, but it's chopped foul. Stays at 1-2 with 2 outs.
De Leon can get the strikeout. I mean,
he's a strikeout man.
Yeah, he had just 2 though at his last start, but he had 5 and 6 before that. He had 18 strikeouts in 11 2/3 in the month of May. He has 13 and 11 1/3 in the month of June.
1-2 pitch way outside for ball 2.
He's got 4 already today as well.
Promotions today. They're celebrating Juneteenth here at the ballpark, as well as it being Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, $3 Miller Lights, as well as $2 Dog Night, as Suggs goes down swinging again for the 2nd time today, and he's now the 5th strikeout victim for Luis De Leon. So the Blue Rocks go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 4th, and it stays a 2-1 ball game. Aberdeen up 1. We'll see if they can extend their lead in the top of the 5th when we return. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
We are not a restaurant. We are a churrascaria, a Brazilian steakhouse, a culinary destination. Take your taste buds on a journey to Brazil, where you'll enjoy mouth-watering Brazilian meats. Our gaiochos personally grill and prepare various cuts of meat to perfection. We at Churrascaria Cidades Brazilian Steakhouse promise you a taste of Brazil. We can be found in the Newark Shopping Center and online at eatsteaks.com.
I'm Allie Bruce from the Rowan Report. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 9:30 on Rowan Radio. And now, back to the game.
Top of the order due up for the Aberdeen Ironbirds will be Enrique Bradfield Jr., Reed Trimble, as well as Mac Horvath for Aberdeen. So looking to get their 34th win on the season. They're 33-31. Blue Rocks 30-34, and they got win number 30 last night. 12-7 victory, but we got a pitcher's duel for you guys tonight. 2-1, as it's now the top of the 5th between Riley Cornelio and the other pitcher for Aberdeen, Luis De Leon. Both been dealing, Doc, 7 combined hits for both sides. 4 hits for Aberdeen, 3 for the Blue Rocks, and 3 combined runs, 2-1 ball game. And Enrique Bradfield Jr. steps in, and it's been a really good ball game if you like pitchers duels, but a lot of people nowadays, because the pitch clock was introduced and everything, they like to see a lot of offense. Yesterday was kind of the game to go to.
Yeah, yesterday, I mean, you had like a 6-run third inning. You had all the offense in the world. Right now, it's just 2-1 here, 7 combined hits like you mentioned, and it's nice to see a close game. Would you rather see a blowout win, or would you rather see a low-scoring, close game towards the end? I know what I would take, especially with the way both these teams have some exciting players, including the one who's stepping in the box now, and Enrique Bradfield Jr.
He already has 2 stolen bases, a base knock with an infield bunt, but he's 1 for 2 with 2 stolen bases, grounded out in his last at-bat. Looking for hit number 2 as he went 0 for 5 yesterday. He had 6 hits in the last series on the road against the Hickory Crawdads. Looks like everyone's kind of conversing about something. I'm not sure what the issue is, but like the 2 umpires are still together. The shortstop and second baseman of Pena and Made are still together.
I wonder if we're waiting for something, but
looks like everyone's kind of looking at someone to see like what's going on. But
some ads are being read by our great PA announcer here at the Blue Rocks. But
shout out Kevin.
Yeah, doing a great job. But now Enrique Bradfield Jr. walks to the on-deck circle. So
yeah, this is a little interesting. I'm not sure what's going on. It kind of looks like everyone's just kind of looking at each other.
Cornelio is warming up still, but he stopped for a second, then started warming up again. Doesn't seem like he's hurt, so I don't think that's it.
Let's get a better look. Let's lean forward. What's going on?
Waiting and seeing. The umpires are just standing there. It almost looks like they're waiting for their cue to start the game, but, I mean.
The only issue I see is that the pitch clock's not on.
Oh, that could be something.
There's no seconds on the pitch clock, but I can't see anything that's going on.
You mentioned the pitch
I'm now
clock.
standing, by the way.
You mentioned the pitch clock right before this inning, and you broke it.
Wow. Saying I cursed it? That's insane.
You might have. It looks like we're waiting for something, but Enrique Bradfield Jr. and they're waiting for the lights to come on.
The lights are on. There we go.
They're waiting for the lights to come on. Okay. I mean, there's still enough daylight to play, but I mean, I guess they didn't want anybody to get flashed, during the inning.
Understandable. But the lights are on now, even though it's manageable.
Yeah, it's still sun out.
We got the lights on in here now, too, but that was in the third. Bradfield Jr. drops down a bunt, but it goes behind him into foul ground. 0-1 count as he'll throw the ball back to the Blue Rocks dugout for the ball boy. Makes his job easy. 0-1 count for Enrique. Number 5 prospect for the Orioles. First round draft pick in 2023. 17th overall. 0-1 count. 2 inside for ball 1. As we mentioned, out of Vanderbilt, was the SEC Freshman of the Year. Vanderbilt stolen base leader, and he broke it in his junior year. 130 stolen bags. 1-1 count. 2 inside.
And he's a great player on the field, but, I think something that, somebody like his parents would probably take more pride in is that he won, the 2023 SEC Community Service Team Award. So
2-1 count. 2 outside. He was a home run away from the cycle against the Blue Rocks back on May 17th. Career high 6 total bases. Got the triple, double, and the single. Just needed that long ball. He's got 2 this year. Now in a 3-1 count to Riley Cornelio, the right-hander. Here's the pitch, fouled straight back as Bradfield goes down to a disappointed pose, and full count for Cornelio and Bradfield. We got a matchup now.
Yeah, I think he thought that one was a great pitch to hit, and it was, and he just missed it.
Fastball middle at the letters. Can't really ask for a better pitch if you're a hitter. 3-2. Too high for ball 4. Bradfield Jr. on the base paths. I'm assuming you're going to say that wasn't that great. I mean,
danger zone. That's what I was going to say. Not only is a leadoff walk, not, destined to be great for the team, in the field, but, it's definitely not when it's Enrique Bradfield Jr. taking the base paths.
So he leads off first base. Cornelio gets set. No outs in the top of the fifth. 2-1 ball game. Aberdeen up 1. Bradfield faked the takeoff, and Suggs tried to frame it up, but it's 2 outside for ball 1 to Reed Trimble, the left-handed right fielder. 2 flyouts for him tonight.
We might as well guess what pitch he's going to take off. I think it's going to be this one or the next one, because those are probably going to be our 2 choices.
Probably going to be this one. That's my guess.
I'll go with the next one.
They try to pick off Bradfield at first. It was a little close, but he got back in time. Still no outs in the top of the fifth. Reed Trimble, a CBB round pick for the Aberdeen Ironbirds. Suggs throws to second as Bradfield takes off for second. It's in time. They caught the Steelmaster over at second base, and he goes back to the dugout. You got to give a pat on the back for Matt Suggs. That's really difficult to do. Bradfield Jr., the leader on the team in steals, 31-29 coming into this game. He had 2 after getting a single in the first.
Tip your cap. Got up quickly out of his squat position and fired a strike.
You just knew it was coming at some point, and it was just a matter of time, and Suggs definitely was waiting every pitch to see when he would take off, and he timed it perfectly. Now it's a 2-1 count with nobody on, with 1 out for Reed Trimble. Takes outside for 3 balls and a 1 strike count. 1 out for the right fielder. Trimble out of Southern Mississippi. He was with Aberdeen last year as well, and it'll be a ball 4 for Reed Trimble. He gets on base for the first time today. Another stolen base attempt, Doc, with no outs, as that's something that you said you didn't really like baseball teams to do. It's kind of your hidden rule, you said, and
yeah,
kind of costing them again. You had Carter Young taking off for second base. He got caught stealing, and it was a no-out base runner. And then Enrique Bradfield, same thing with him. Happens in the fifth.
Yeah, usually don't want to be aggressive unless there's 1 out. It's at least my rule. But Horvath just swung through that one. But I also think the rules might change if you have Enrique Bradfield Jr. So I'm not too mad that they decided to send him. But, it did feel like everybody knew it was, going to happen. But sometimes you couldn't stop it even if you know. But right there they did, and now there's 1 out.
Horvath steps in, takes outside for ball 1. It's now a 1-1 count for Horvath.
Horvath's somebody, too. If you give him 2 runners on, it could be danger territory.
Went 1 for 3 yesterday, 0 for 2 today with a pop-out and a strikeout. So designated hitter for the Aberdeen Ironbirds today. Takes outside for ball 2 as it reached the left-hander's batter's box. Horvath, the right-hander at 22 years old, out of Austin, Minnesota, North Carolina, or University of North Carolina.
Minnesota, man. He's probably not used to this weather too much. I'm sure those summers get a little hot up there, though.
2-1 count with 1 out. Cornelio trying to get the double play, and it's a thought-about swing, but holds back. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Horvath had to sadly watch his Tar Heels lose in the College Baseball World Series, but maybe he can use some of that anger into the baseball right here.
Cornelio set. Pitch clock down to 3, down to 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2 for Horvath, as well as strikeout number 3 for Riley Cornelio. He gets strikeout number 50 on the season. It's definitely a big accomplishment for Riley Cornelio, one of the better starters for the Blue Rocks this season, one of all reliables for the Blue Crew.
Yeah, he's been great. We talked about how good he is at home, but just on the year as a whole, he's been fantastic after a rough start as well.
Trying to get win number 6. Runner takes off. Creed Willems swings through a foul ball. So 0-1 count for Creed Willems, and Trimble will have to go back to first as he took off for second. Got to go back to first on a stolen base.
Feels like we're waiting for the Creed Willems moment in this game. He walked in his first at-bat, which felt like an intentional walk. Then he struck out in his last at-bat. It feels like every game he's got some sort of wow moment.
Went 2 for 4 with an RBI yesterday. Just the pitch, swung on and missed in the dirt for strike 2.
It's not giving him a fastball again. He gave him a fastball in the first pitch. Luckily, it was a little bit on the inner half of the plate, so Willems was not able to get a good piece of contact there. Then goes with the, off speed a little bit lower, and a good pitch combo right there by Cornelio. Let's see what he goes with 0-2.
2 outs, runner at first. Here's Cornelio, the pitch too high for ball 1.
And you got a couple waste pitches, but you don't want to dance around too much because Willems also has Carter Young, who's a very talented hitter, right after him. So you want to at least give him something somewhat competitive that he could at least hit softly.
Willems 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Next pitch, fouled straight back into the netting. We'll do it again at 1-2. That was the 90th pitch dealt by Cornelio.
Have to think this is his last inning, maybe even his last batter. But
there is action in the bullpen for the Blue Rocks.
Could go another good 5-inning outing here at home, allowing just a couple earned runs.
1-2, 2 outs, runner at first. So the cleanup batter. Here's the pitch. Too low for ball 2.
Yeah,
this is a huge out.
Yeah, that one was just not really too competitive of a pitch right there. I think it was a ball right out of the hands. But he tried to go with a curveball on the inner part of the plate. Willems found it off, and then there he tried to go way lower, and Willems just didn't want to bat an eye at it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Cornelio down to 1 second. Here's the pitch. It's drilled down the right field line. Went over Chickies and Pete's down the right field line.
Ooh.
That'll reach Shipyard Drive, and still at 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Aberdeen still with a 2-1 lead.
Waiting for him to attack the outside part of the plate. He's been going, just inside, on the inside part of the plate to Willems that, trying to get something off the end of the bat. You don't need a strikeout here.
2-2 pitch from Cornelio. Swung on and missed for strikeout number 4 for Riley Cornelio. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the 5th. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th to see if the Blue Rocks can get back this 1-run deficit that they are in the midst of. We'll be right back as Aberdeen is up 2-1. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
Progress is being made every day in addressing the epidemic of heroin use in our state. Too many lives have been unnecessarily lost. Families that suffer the stigma of shame due to addiction in the family may unknowingly prevent their loved one from seeking help. There is no shame in seeking help for substance use disorder. You can find resources at attackaddiction.org. That's attackaddiction.org. Find out how you can help. This message brought to you by Attack Addiction, the Greater Wilmington Radio Association, and this station.
Hey, this is Gary Daidolo, your host of the Icon Rock Show, Saturdays at 5 p.m. on Rowan Radio. And now let's get back to the game.
Back at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Blue Rocks back up to bat as they're down 2-1 against their South Atlantic League North foes of the Aberdeen Ironbirds. With you is myself, Jack Miller, alongside Aiden Doherty. Doc, the Blue Rocks got 7-8-9 due up. De La Rosa, Dugas, and Elijah Nunez, as there is a new pitcher on the mound for the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
Yeah, De Leon had a good game, just 1 run allowed and 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, but are going to pull the plug a little bit here on his night. But did a good job getting through this order, but it looks like they're going to head to the bullpen and immediately can't see too much with what's out there on the mound, but
it's Michael Forant for the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
I heard number 29, so Michael Forant, 6'3", right-hander.
Yeah, 2023 14th round draft pick by the Baltimore Orioles out of State College of Florida. He's played with Delmarva this season as well as Aberdeen. Only 2 games played with Aberdeen. His first pitch is too high to De La Rosa for ball 1. He's got no wins, 1 loss, an 8 ERA in the 2 games that he's played in 6 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 10 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 walks, and struck out 8. 1-1 count for De La Rosa as he looks at strike 1. But with Delmarva, he had a 3 ERA with 2 wins and 4 losses, had 8 starts. So maybe they're going to use him as a relief guy, but De La Rosa sends one into left center field after it. Enrique Bradfield Jr. He calls off the left fielder of Hodo, and he makes the catch in left center for out number 1. De La Rosa will go back to the dugout after 3 pitches and a fly out. But Michael Foret is dealing with the bottom of the order, and he's trying to bring that 8 ERA down to more of a less crooked number.
Interesting that, he used to be a starter, but now they're going to try to make him a reliever here by the Baltimore Orioles. And we haven't seen the ball fly too much. That one, looked somewhat good off the bat.
And you would expect that. Warm day.
Yeah. I think they're just hitting it too high. Nothing's
Wind's
really
blowing out, too.
Yeah, nothing's really been a line drive, so.
Gavin Dugas steps in, 1-0 count. Takes for a strike. Blue Rocks being very patient now. And taking first pitches for a ball this inning. Then looking at the next one for a strike. Base is empty for Dugas. Swung on and missed. Big hack that was tipped by Dugas into the glove of Adam Retzbach.
Dugas had that nice piece of hitting in his first at-bat and almost got a double, but nice play over there in left. Got held to a single.
Scored the first run as he got on base to lead off the third. Double play from Viendo Pena scored him. 2-2 count for the man at the hot corner, Gavin Dugas. Powerful right-handed bat. 2-2, way outside. To the backstop it goes. Retzbach barely made an attempt on it, but it doesn't really matter because there's nobody on base. There's one out in the bottom of the fifth. Blue Rocks trying to tie the game. 3-2. Way too high and almost hit Dugas, and it did. He'll throw the bat back to the dugout very aggressively, but
I think it just missed him, luckily.
I think it was no matter what, ball 4.
Yeah, it was
so
ball
it didn't
4,
matter.
but
So
scary situation.
either way, Dugas goes to first, and in steps Elijah Nunez, who's got on base via the walk, and eventually was on the base paths with the bases loaded, no outs. Blue Rocks only to score 1 run from that situation. But Dugas at first again for Elijah Nunez. First pitch is down Broadway for a strike. Technically, no at-bats for Elijah Nunez with the sole walk. Bounces around from the top of the order to the bottom of the order. Coming into this game. As that ball gets away, and it'll go all the way to the foul wall in right field, and Dugas, thought it was caught by Creed Willems, and everyone's telling him to run to second. He runs over to second base after the pass ball, or the wild throw, I should say, from the pitcher of Foret. So Dugas in scoring position now for the Blue Rocks, and Elijah Nunez, who so far this year is batting around 100, 128.
Big spot here. Blue Rocks with the runner in scoring position could tie this game, just 1 out.
No count so far for Nunez. That one's off the end of the bat, foul. Towards the third base side for the left-hander. Righty on lefty action this time for Nunez. Definitely something a lot of left-handers like is a right-handed pitcher. 0-1 count. Foret delivers. Called strike 3. Nunez goes back to the dugout. It'll be the first strikeout for Michael Foret, 9th on the year for Aberdeen. 21st on the season, 58th on the season between Delmarva and Aberdeen. And now in steps the top of the order, the leadoff man, Jonathan Thomas, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out so far today. He got that single in his last at-bat in the third. Foret delivers again. First pitch is off speed, but drops into the zone for a strike. Another 0-1 count, this time to Thomas. Thomas with a lot of speed. Trying to get on the base paths again with potentially an open bag to steal. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Healthy hack there. Jonathan Thomas. Somebody that, every time you get to watch him play, I feel like he takes some of the healthiest hacks you'll see. He's got a good swing, a very hard swing, and, we're just waiting for him to connect on a few of those, and it's going to be trouble, especially if he finds a gap, but now he finds himself down the count.
182 batter this year with 10 RBIs, looking for RBI number 11 with a base hit. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at the high cheese for out number 3, strikeout number 2 for Foret. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 5th. They threaten with Dugas getting into scoring position at second base after the walk and the wild throw, but it's still a 2-1 ball game as we head to the top of the 6th inning. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
Kimmel Carter, Roman Peltz & O'Neill, PA, is the largest law firm in Delaware, exclusively handling personal injury and workers' compensation cases. With 11 attorneys with over 210 combined years of experience, Kimmel Carter are your Delaware injury lawyers. If you or someone you know has been injured in a car accident or on the job, the website is KimmelCarter.com. Kimmel Carter, Roman Peltz & O'Neill, a proud sponsor of Wilmington Blue Rocks Baseball.
Hey, this is Gavin Trutzenbach from Gavin's Rock Lab. Monday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. here on Rowan Radio. And now, let's get back to the game.
Carter Young, Douglas Hodo, Jalen Vasquez due up for the Aberdeen Ironbirds. And it looks like there is a new pitcher on the mound once again, this time for the Blue Rocks. And I want to say it's Huff.
Yeah, I believe you would be correct.
I think so, but we'll figure it out once we get later into this inning. But Doc, for the Blue Rocks, 2-1 game, pitcher's duel, as we are now in the top of the 6th, 2-1 ball game. So it's actually going to be Zach Brixky pitching for the Blue Rocks. So new pitcher on the mound for the Blue Rocks, Doc. So with Brixky on the mound, definitely trying to keep it a 2-1 lead. 4 hits so far for Aberdeen, but the bottom of the order is where it starts to get going for today. Carter Young through Hodo, Vasquez, Retzbach, and Zahada have created pretty much not all the damage, but most of the damage for Aberdeen.
Yeah, they've had a couple chances. It's a good job by Cornelia to only hold them to 2, but the offense hasn't really responded in the favor. And now it's time possibly for Aberdeen to pull away in this game, but it's going to be up to the bullpen now to try to get this one figured out. But Bursky on the year, 1-0, 2.25 ERA, 11 strikeouts in 8 innings. So a very talented relief pitcher. The 24-year-old has kind of found his way so far in the minors. Just totally in the minors. He's almost at 200 total strikeouts with 192 and 3.42 ERA. So a reliable reliever in this organization.
2-0 count to Carter Young. Pitch clock down to 1, and Carter Young drills one down the right field line. It goes down for a base hit all the way to the corner. Elijah Nunez will field it into the corner right below the foul pole, and Carter Young will get a stand-up double to lead off the inning. Brixky gets attacked early, and this 2-1 lead is looking slimmer as we get closer to the 6th inning, or into the middle of the 6th inning, Doc, and leadoff double is not a way to start your relief outing.
Yeah, the Blue Rocks have struggled to get the first hitter out of every inning. We've seen a pair of leadoff walks. If you just want to go down
There's only been one inning without a leadoff hitter,
or
a leadoff runner.
In the first inning, a leadoff single. The second inning, a leadoff single. The third inning, a fly out to start an inning. And then the 4th and 5th inning, leadoff walks and now leadoff hits. So 5 out of 6 times Aberdeen has gotten the leader runner on.
Odo shows bunt, but it's outside in the left-hander's batter's box for the right-hander. Brixky, right-hander at 6'2", 208 pounds on a rehab assignment. Scheduled to go back to Harrisburg soon. Out of Hickory, North Carolina, went to Virginia Tech. 1 win this season in 2024. 1-0 pitch. It's a high fly ball into left center field. Nothing threatening. Jonathan Thomas will make the read on it and straight away left center. He makes the catch for out number 1. Throw it back into Kevin Made to keep Carter Young over at second base so he doesn't tag. He stays at second. So 1 out in the top of the 6th. You get a fly out from Douglas Soto, who's been on base both times with a single and a walk. He's 1 for 1, but now 1 for 2.
Yeah, we talked about how they've struggled with the leadoff runners, but they have found a way to get out still without really that runner advancing, whether that's by getting the runner trying to steal or just getting the next batter out. And right there they got the next batter out. And, leadoff double, runner at second, no outs is pretty scary. But when you don't get them over, when you have 1 out, it can be a tough job to get him in. Now you kind of need a single.
In steps Jalen Vasquez, who's 1 for 2. got out via the fielder's choice. His last at-bat swings through strike one.
Good pitch there. Challenged him with the heater, and he won that challenge.
So far in the rehab assignment, he's gotten the win, Brixey, in his rehab assignment in rookie ball in the Florida Coast League. Drops down a bunt, but Vasquez pulls back for ball one. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. So far in his rehab assignment, 7 appearances, 2 starts. Only 4 innings pitched with rookie ball. And coming into this game, 4 innings pitched with the Blue Rocks. Only given up 1 hit. That was the second hit of the day, or from given up by Brixey in his rehab assignment with the Blue Rocks. Only 1 earned run in high A and 1 in rookie ball as well. So that was the 5th hit given up by Brixey this season with the double from Carter Young. 2-1 count for Vasquez with a runner in scoring position. 1 out, top of the 6th, 2-1 ball game. Caught the outside part of the plate for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes for the shortstop. Jalen Vasquez has made some plays over at shortstop today. Made's been very active over at short. The other shortstop for the Blue Rocks is Vasquez calls time. He readjusts his batting gloves, readjusts the helmet. So still a 2-ball, 2-strike count with 1 out and a runner at second base. Brixey set, pitch clock to 10. Now down to 8, he looks back at second. Here's the pitch. 2-2 is too high for ball 3. Vasquez thought about swinging at it, but he held back in time to make it a full count against Brixey.
Big pitch here possibly is Retzbach, who lined one for a double, is in the on-deck circle, and that top of the lineup is creeping up just so slightly.
3-2. Swung on and missed. A strikeout for Brixey, and it'll be the first one on the night and his 12th on the season. He had 6 in rookie ball and 5 with the Blue Rocks coming into this game. Strikeout number 6 on the season for Brixey, and he's got some really good stuff on the mound.
Beautiful pitch right there. I mean, he works that fastball, it looks like, a lot, which is different because I feel like Cornelio all night has just been trying to get the off speed, and he did a good job of it mostly throughout the night, but now here comes him with the fastball.
Retzbach swings and misses at the off speed for strike 1. Retzbach, he's gotten all the damage today, an RBI double and an RBI ground out. And Aberdeen's up 2-1. He's gotten all the runs for Aberdeen today. Another low pitch, but he holds back. 1-1 count. Kept the bat on the shoulder. He's got 2 outs. Top of the 6th. Aberdeen now with 5 hits. Blue Rocks with 3. The 1-1 offering. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Brixey trying to get out of a runner in scoring position jam as he gave up the double early. Then a fly out and a strikeout right after the leadoff double from Carter Young. Step out of the batter's box goes Adam Retzbach. Pitch clock will reset. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Brixey set. Looks back at second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's grounded over to Dugas at third base. Throw across the diamond is in time for out number 3. Aberdeen goes down 1-2-3 after the leadoff double from Carter Young, and it stays a 2-1 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
Hello, fans. I'm minor league baseball president Pat O'Connor. Baseball is a game filled with diverse backgrounds both on the field and in the regardless of their age, gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or background. I invite you to visit MiLB.com and search Diversity Initiative to learn more about minor league baseball's efforts to promote diversity. Thank you for your support and enjoy the game.
This is Victoria Baker from the Early Bird Special, Monday through Fridays from 7 to 9 a.m. here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. And now let's get back to the game.
Welcome back to Daniel S. Farley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field. Aberdeen up 2-1 against the Wilmington Blue Rocks. With you is myself, Jack Miller, as well as to my right, one of my right-hand men, Aiden Doherty. And Aiden, 2-1 ball game. Aberdeen up 1. Blue Rocks just got to get the bats rolling. They were able to score 12 runs yesterday. Only 1 run on 3 hits today. 2, 3, 4 due up. It's a great time to do it now.
That's now or never, really. I mean, you're not in the 8th or 9th inning yet, but feels like the longer you go in this game, the more you're just going to fall into that void of where the offense is just not able to get anything going, and that's what it feels like is happening right now. You know, the offense has just kind of struggled, and when I say now or never, a big reason of why I say that is you have some of your best hitters due up in this inning. You got 2, 3, 4 to start this inning, and this could be your best opportunity at possibly digging into the lead and tying this game up and possibly taking the lead.
Forrett still on the mound for the Aberdeen Ironbirds as Viendo Pena switches to the left side as they faced Luis De Leon to start this game. We'll get to his final line in just a bit. Here's the next pitch from Forrett as it's 2 outside for ball 2. His final line, De Leon, the left-hander, went 4 full innings, giving up 3 hits, 1 earned, walked 1 batter, and struck out 5. Now Forrett trying to continue his strong outing as Pena swings through the 2-0 offering. 2-1 count for Viendo Pena to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Cornelio had a strong outing as well as the next pitch is looked at for strike 2. Went from 2-0 to 2-2. And Forrett bouncing back against the first batter of the 6th. It's a 2-2 pitch to Pena. Way outside and high. Full count now.
Pena in his last at-bat was the guilty player in the double play. He doesn't get an RBI, but it drove in the only run so far for the Blue Rocks.
Next pitch at the knees, called strike 3. Forrett with another strikeout. 3 strikeouts in a row for the guy who just got called up from Delmarva. We'll see if Kevin Made can switch things up. So it's Nunez, Thomas, and Pena, all victims of the strikeout from Forrett. And he's been dealing. I mean, don't let that 8 ERA fool you in Aberdeen, as he's been really solid in today's outing. First pitch to Kevin Made is way outside, off speed. For a ball.
One of the things that I love about the minor leagues is it's hard to look at the raw numbers because, you know, some of these pitchers, like he might be just trying to work on his fastball. And, you know, a lot of hitters might know that and see it coming as, you know, that pitch was outside for 2-0. But, you know, I think it's one of those things in minor leagues where some pitchers are just down here or up here to work on their curveball just specifically. So, like, they're going to throw you 3 straight curveballs.
Here's the 2-0, way outside again. Might be trying to work on his sliders. 3-0, and all of them have been outside. So,
and it can hurt the raw numbers, like, you know, the AERA, you know, but it might not be who he truly is.
Made takes for strike 1. Was about to jog over to first for his 33rd walk of the season. 11th in the South Atlantic League in walks, and there it is, ball 4. Walk number 32 or 33 on the season.
Made definitely knows how to draw a walk, but, you know, back to my point, I read an article actually a couple days ago that I thought was really interesting. Is, you know, the Phillies prospect and Mick Abel, who, you know, was somebody that was kind of dominating the minor leagues, and all of a sudden he's kind of found this rough patch in AAA. But, you know, I found out that apparently in an interview, you know, they kind of talked about how they want Mick Abel just to work on the fastball. So the hitters kind of know that he's going to throw 7 fastballs out of the next 8 pitches. And, you know, it gives the hitters an advantage, but they just want him to work on that fastball. And I think that's what happens a lot with these minor league players down here.
Rano takes strike 1. He struck out twice today, both swinging to Luis De Leon, the starter for Aberdeen. He's got a 1-out base runner of Kevin Made. Way high. Had to dodge out of the way of that one in the left-hander's batter's box. 1-1 count. He had a really solid day yesterday in his debut. His first game was yesterday. 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs, a run, and a walk. Too high for ball 2. As we mentioned earlier, released from the Akron Rubber Ducks on June 3rd, and then the Nationals assigned him to the Blue Rocks after signing him. So also with the Lake County Captains, they're in High A. 2-1. Almost caught the ankle of Naranjo, and it extends the count to 3-1. With the Rubber Ducks this season, 23 hits, 13 RBIs, 211 batting average in the 34 games that he played. And last year with the Rubber Ducks, 89 games played with 3 home runs, 29 RBIs. As there's a mound visit between Retzbach and the pitcher of For It. But it's Naranjo's 5th year in the minor leagues, Doc. And he's just trying to get something rolling. I mean, getting released by a minor league team definitely has to sting a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does, but a lot of these players, all they need is that chip on their shoulder, and you just keep reminding yourself, hey, this team didn't want me, and then you keep finding yourself up climbing the ranks of another organization.
3-1 is poked down the other way, and it just hooks foul. Probably would have scored Made if it went all the way to the corner, but it just barely missed the chalk down the left field line and extends the count to 3-2.
Good piece of hitting there. He kind of
could have turned the ball game around.
Yeah, he went out in front, poked that ball pretty much, you could say, even though it was a hard liner to the left field line. And, I mean, we couldn't see it from here because, I mean, it's hard to see it from our vantage point, but, I mean, it must have just been foul.
For It set with a runner at first. 3-2 count, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. Made takes off, jammed on it, and he puts it foul into the seats. We'll do it again. Made will go back to first. Made aggressive. I mean, if it's a line out, he can get doubled up. But I kind of like that aggressiveness. You're down 2-1. Mario Lasone's known for that.
Yeah, you got to take some risks. I mean, you got 1 run. You got to find a way to get runs elsewhere. You can still get the big hit, but you might want to try to turn into what can be a single into an RBI.
Throw back to first since Made took off. It's back there safely. So still 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Aberdeen leads 2-1 against the Blue Rocks. For It set. Pitch clock down to 7. Now down to 6. Made takes off again. Naranjo jammed again, and it goes into the seats again. Still remains a 3-2 count with 1 out. Huge at-bat here, Doc. I mean,
professional AB right now.
Yeah, really competitive at-bat between For It and Naranjo. Naranjo just trying to get back into the hit column after getting a hit yesterday. And to try and be a consistent first baseman for the Blue Rocks. We've seen a lot of people at first base. Bossier, TJ White, Will Frizzell, now Naranjo. For It set. 3-2. Called strike 3 on the inside half of the plate, and it's the hat trick of strikeouts for Naranjo. This time now looking for the first time today. And it'll be strikeout number 4 for It. Just a nasty off-speed pitch to get Naranjo looking.
And 2 strikeouts this inning. Both of them were looking. So he's freezing the hitters up there at the plate. And, he allowed that walk, but he's been cruising so far through his inning plus of work.
2 outs now in the bottom of the 6th. In steps Jared McKenzie, who's been known for a lot of clutch situations. 2 walk-offs with the Blue Rocks in the first series of the season. Walk-off home run in Game 2. Sacrifice fly that walked off the Blue Rocks. High fastball swung through that one for strike 1. 1-1 count for Jared McKenzie. Definitely would like to see liftoff here to take the lead. One swing of the bat can make it a 3-2 ball game. It's McKenzie with the Blue Rocks this season batting .367. Before his injury as well as after his injury. Went 1 for 4 with a double. His game back with the Blue Rocks after his 7-day injured list visit. Made takes off. McKenzie off the end of the bat, kind of towards us, and it goes into the seats a few rows before us as it just tipped off the top of the netting, and it goes to a 1-2 count.
That's the closest we've been to a foul ball this season, Jack. I almost got excited. I had my hands, I was ready to make a nice catch, but it just went a little bit to the left. And
I wasn't scared at first. Not scared, but I wasn't. My adrenaline hasn't rushed that much, but
yeah,
it did peak when it tipped the net.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Tips the net, deflects to the left side.
1-2 pitch to McKenzie. Swung on a missed in the dirt. First strike, number 3. 5th strikeout on the day for it, and he strikes out the side after walking Made. He struck out Pena, walked Made, struck out Narano, and struck out McKenzie. Still a 2-1 ball game as we head to the 7th. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
Summer vacation is here. Kick off the summer with an annual pass with Delaware State Parks. Enjoy scenic beaches, unique campgrounds, over 150 miles of trails, rich history, kayaking, and so much more. The possibilities are endless with outdoor activities at Delaware State Parks. For more information, the website is destateparks.com. Delaware State Parks, your outdoor adventure starts here.
This is Sue Schilling, your host for Everything Special Needs, Saturday at 8 a.m. on Rowan Radio. And now let's get back to the game.
Back here at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field. Here at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, we are celebrating Juneteenth. And again, we thank you guys for spending your Wednesday evening with us tonight. With you is myself, Jack Miller, alongside Aiden Doherty. 2-1 ball game in the top of the 7th inning, Doc. And pitcher's duel, kind of what some people paid to see. When you see DeLeon, when you see Cornelio in the high A level, you kind of expect not a lot of runs are going to get given up. And another new pitcher for the Blue Rocks, we'll get to him in a little bit, but it's kind of what these guys in the seats today paid to see.
Yeah, easily. I mean, we were talking on the ride here. Cornelio has just been magnificent, especially at home. You know, the ERA doesn't look so pretty on paper, but he's just found ways to do well pretty much ever since his first couple starts in April, and he's been on cruise control, especially when he's playing here at Frawley Stadium. But just 2-1 game here as, you know, the game's starting to get closer. We're going to have an early pitch time violation, it looks like, on the hitter. So,
wow.
Quickly 0-1 before you even blink. It's 0-1.
Cole Henry on the mound for the Blue Rocks.
Sure, he appreciates starting 0-1 on his day.
He definitely does. He's on rehab assignment from Double-A. Was a second-round pick by the Nationals in 2020. Came out of, not really shocked by this, Louisiana State. 0-2 count now. Outside for ball 1. It's Angel Tejada for Aberdeen, the 9-hole hitter. Grounded out twice to Made at short. It's over at second base today. It's his first appearance with the Blue Rocks this season. Another pitch outside for a ball. 2-2 count for Cole Henry. He was with Wilmington last season, had a loss with a 2.25 ERA in 2 starts. And then immediately got the call up to Harrisburg. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1 for Cole Henry on his rehab assignment. Great way to start it, Doc. I mean, strike out the 9-hole hitter. It's good momentum to go to the top of the order.
Oh, excellent. I mean, he started up 0-1 in the count thanks to the good old buddy you have in the pitch clock. And you take advantage of that, get a nice strikeout. And you got one out. It helps you kind of sit down and relax on the mound. And now you got to face Enrique Bradfield Jr., though.
He also pitched for the Blue Rocks back in 2021. 3 wins, 3 losses, 1.88 ERA, 8 starts, 9 games played, with 63 strikeouts. He's a menace on the mound in high A.
Some good numbers there.
Yeah. 1-0. Enrique Bradfield Jr. takes for strike 1. Thought about swinging through it, but didn't look like he swung, but no matter what, ruled a strike.
A little bit of a sword there.
Henry set. 1-1, nobody on. It's a pop-up bunt, and Dugas will make the catch right down the third base line for out number 2. Enrique Bradfield Jr. is out number 2 of the top of the 7th, but that's got to sting a little bit where you drop down a bunt, and it's just a looping pop-out for Gavin Dugas, who's already cheating down the line a little bit at the hot corner.
Yeah, Bradfield, so far now, he's 1 for 3 with the walk, but that single was on the infield bunt single to that left side. That time he just popped it up.
Reed Trimble takes for ball 1.
One of my favorite things about the minor leagues, too, is just seeing where a lot of these players come from in college. And you mentioned Louisiana State, and that's the same place as Gavin Dugas. So LSU kids helping each other.
Todd Peterson, Dylan Cruz, a lot of LSU kids.
I wonder where the Nationals send a lot of their scouts to.
And they were definitely looking at Paul Skeens as well. I mean, you never know.
I mean, who wasn't?
Yeah, who wasn't?
I was even trying to recruit him for my my adult league team.
2-1 as Trimble fouls it away. Are you trying to recruit him for our softball team?
Oh, yes. we needed a flamethrower, but sadly we didn't have enough to pry him away.
It's too much out of our bank account for that. 2-1 in the dirt for ball 3.
It is kind of interesting. You do have a lot of LSU players that are with the Blue Rocks, and obviously Dylan Cruz obviously missed his Blue Rocks tenure, and he just immediately skipped up because of how good he was.
Yeah, it was an interesting situation because at least I thought we were going to see him at some point, but now he's in AAA. Trimble,
Dalen Lyle was the one that replaced him in AA, so pretty cool to see that. A Blue Rock moving his way up, and he's now in AA, replacing Dylan Cruz, who finds himself in AAA and one step away from the great major leagues.
With James Wood now in AAA.
That's a dangerous duo.
Up in Rochester, New York.
Nationals are really building this organization pretty well. You know, they
got
had
bubbles?
Yeah, no, there's been bubbles going by our window the whole time. Somebody's having fun in the boxes upstairs.
Yeah. Never seen a bubble machine on sale before, so that's why it kind of freaked me out.
It's almost like you're at Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the greatest place on earth. Frawley Stadium.
Daniel S. Frawley Stadium. 2-0 count. Swung on a missed from Mac Horvath. He's 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts and a pop-out. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. 2-1 ball game between the Ironbirds and the Blue Rocks. High A baseball, minor league baseball. Trimble takes off. Suggs to throw to second. Not in time as it gets under the glove of Pena, but it tipped off the glove of Pena, and it just trickled back to the backup man of Kevin Made. So it still is, or it goes to a 2-2 count with 2 outs, but now there's a runner at second. So it'll be a stolen base for Reed Trimble. Stolen base number 6 on the season for the right fielder for today's ball game.
And Trimble also kind of got hit by that throwdown as it went under, tipped off the glove, and caught a piece of his foot and cleat, and came up a little bit jumpy trying to shake it off. But now they're a single away from doubling their lead.
2-2. Outside, ball 3. Cole Henry just trying to get out of it.
Horvath feels like he's due. I mean, he's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and a pop-out.
He used to pitch back in high school, and he also played shortstop. 3-2. Outside, ball 4 again. Back-to-back walks for Cole Henry in his first game in his rehab assignment with Delaware after being on the 7-day injured list. 2 base runners, only 1 in scoring position, but Creed Willem steps up. One of the biggest bats in South Atlantic League. Doc, you got to watch out. We might see some liftoff here.
Yeah, this is a dangerous territory here if you're the Blue Rocks, because Creed Willems, I said in his last at-bat, it feels like he has a wow moment at least once every single game. And so far in this one, he has not had it yet. He's 0 for 2 with a walk in the first inning, but he always feels like he can do damage, whether he's 0 for his last 20. That swing is pretty scary, but the Blue Rocks have taken advantage of his aggressiveness. They used off-speed a lot and kind of gotten swings and misses on those low off-speed pitches. We'll see how they try to attack him here in his 4th at-bat.
First pitch to Creed Willems, a big hack, but he just gets a piece of it and fouls it straight back for strike 1. Again, 2 runners in scoring position. Reed Trimble at second. Horvath over at first. Try to get the fly in front of you.
Yeah, I got it. I
You
got
did?
it, man.
Nice.
I got it, but
yeah, it's been bothering us all night.
They tried him off with the fastball first pitch.
0-1. Off the end of the bat, third base side foul. Off the sweets, 0-2 count now for Creed Willems. He's gotten into 2 strike counts early, Doc, so He's been very aggressive, and the pitchers have been very aggressive as well in the strike zone against one of the bigger power threats on the East Coast in high A baseball. 0-2. Thought about, but holds back for ball 1. 2 runners on with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Aberdeen already with a 1-run lead against Wilmington, 2-1 in this pitcher's duel, with 2 rehab assignment relief pitchers for Riley Cornelio. Leads the team in strikeouts. High and away for ball 2. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, if you're Willems, you start to get more comfortable. You can probably start guessing that a fastball is going to be coming in at least one of the next 2 pitches, and try to foul off the off speed and then wait for that fastball to come probably to the inner part of the plate, because it looks like where they're going to try to attack.
Swing and a miss. Cole Henry gets another strikeout. Strikeout number 2 in the inning, and for his 1-inning rehab assignment relief appearance. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th. Me and Doc are going to go stretch real quick, and we'll be right back. 2-1 still. Aberdeen leads by 1. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
There is an overdose reversing life-saving medication available to save the life of someone experiencing a heroin overdose. It's naloxone, administered as an auto-injector or as a nasal spray. Naloxone, restoring respiration by unblocking the brain's receptors, allowing the person to breathe normally. In Delaware, many police departments carry this life-saving medication. Families can also get access to naloxone. Get more information at attackaddiction.org. This message brought to you by Attack Addiction, the Greater Wilmington Radio Association, and this station.
Hey, it's Lee Kirshner from the 80s Arcade, Saturday mornings from 10 till noon, only on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. And now, let's get back to the game.
Welcome back to Daniel S. Farley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field. Me and Doc just stretched. 2-1 ball game between the Aberdeen Ironbirds and the Wilmington Blue Rocks. Blue Rocks down 1 as they are back up to bat in the bottom of the 7th. Looks like it's still for it on the mound for Aberdeen so far. He's through 2 innings already, and he struck out 5 of the 8 batters that he's faced so far. So, Doc, it's been a rough night against Forret, and we just got word from one of our own broadcasters, Owen Caldwell, that Brad Lord just got sent to AAA, and in the past, I believe, 2 weeks in AA, I believe, that in all the starts that he's had, I think he's had like a under 1 ERA. He's been absolutely insane in Harrisburg and definitely deserves the call up to Rochester.
Yeah, they saw something that they liked, and I mean, if you look at his stats, it's something hard not to like, but he's been cruising so far this season. He's been moving up the ladder pretty quickly.
Matt Suggs takes high for strike, or for ball 1, excuse me. Matt Suggs, De La Rosa, and Dugas due up 6, 7, 8 in the bottom of the 7th. So far, Suggs struck out twice as he fouls one down the first base side. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Suggs hasn't had the most perfect day. I mean, he's over 2 with 2 strikeouts. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Blue Rocks. This could be a good inning.
Next pitch is looked at for strike 2.
If you're Aberdeen, you got to try to get these outs now and hope the top of the lineup doesn't come on with runners on.
1-2 count for Suggs. Again, as you said, struck out twice, both swinging. No outs as Suggs leads off the 7th. Looked at for ball 2. Rather close, though, on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Thought about. Did he go around? He did not. So 3-2 count. It was high and in, Doc, and looked like he really wanted it, but it looked like he would have spiked it into the infield.
Big pitch here.
3-2. Called strike 3. Suggs thought it was ball 4, but he will go back to the dugout once again. Strikeout number 6 for Forret. He's just been on an absolute tear. 3 straight strikeouts again, as he had strikeouts 1, 2, and 3 all in a row, and 4, 5, and 6 are all in a row as well. He ended the 6th with 2 straight strikeouts, and he starts off the 7th with another.
It's just been excellent. I mean, 6 strikeouts already in 2 1/3 innings pitched.
One fan definitely not happy about it. 1-0 count for De La Rosa as he takes outside. Flown out twice to center field.
Yeah, so hopefully he can try to hit it over center field and Enrique Bradfield Jr. for a home run. He's gotten some good contact, but just hit it a little too high.
At the knees for strike 1.
That was a pretty big pitch, though, to start. Pat back to Suggs, the 3-2 pitch for a called strike. The Blue Rocks have only gotten 1 leadoff runner on, and that was the only inning they scored.
De La Rosa off the end of the bat. Over the sweets. 1-2 count. Now, Doc, I don't know if you see this, but there's a light green jersey, front row, in this front section towards the Aberdeen dugout.
Mr. Celery.
Mr. Celery jersey.
I need me one of those.
Got to see if it's at the Quarry store. 1-2. In the dirt for ball 2.
It's always interesting. Blue Rocks have some nice jerseys. I love the whites with the baby blue look tonight. They're wearing, the navy or dark blue, I should say, with the baby blue lettering and numbering. But some nice jerseys. Obviously, the Blue Rocks wear blue, and I always tend to like jerseys that are those baby blue colors.
De La Rosa swings through strike 3. 4 straight strikeouts for it. And ever since the fly ball and the walk, he has had 7 strikeouts in 8 batters. Made, the only one not struck out, and he got on base via the walk. But Nunez, Thomas, Pena, Narano, McKenzie, Suggs, and now De La Rosa all have struck out to 4. In steps Gavin Dugas. He walked in his last at-bat. He's 1 for 1 with a single.
Yeah, it's been impressive. I mean, outside the walk to Made, 7 straight strikeouts. That's just ridiculous.
1-0 is fouled into the Blue Rocks dugout, and everyone ducks for cover. And it evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Some of the guys are looking back at him like, hey, what was that for?
A little bit late on that pitch, sadly, to the Blue Rocks dugout.
Late on the fastball for sure. 1-1 with 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the 7th. Dugas pops one up. It's playable on the first base side, but it's going to get away from Creed Willems and just gets on the step of the Blue Rocks dugout. So it stays a 1-2 count for Gavin Dugas. Definitely playable. It's just that no one could get there inside. I'm surprised that Creed Willems went after it. Felt like Retzbach, the catcher, was a little bit closer to it.
Wonder if he just didn't see it right away, and it almost looked like it was kind of tailing back.
1-2 again. Gavin Dugas thought about it, but he holds back. 2-2 count. Fans want to see more runs as they want to see this pitcher's duel kind of end. 2-2. Fouled away late on the fastball again. Off the first base line screen. And the dugout of the Blue Rocks are pushing their hands forward saying, get that away from us. Put that in play. And you'll get yourself a base hit.
He's got to turn the hands around a little bit sooner.
2-2 again. Poked foul right behind him off the sweets. And it'll be a souvenir for a lucky fan. So we'll do a 2-ball, 2-strike count again with 2 outs, nobody on. As Fora is trying to strike out the side. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Dugas. Called strike 3, and Fora has struck out the side as he now has 5 straight strikeouts against the Wilmington Blue Rocks. What an outing for Fora as he has been on an absolute tear with Aberdeen. 2-1 ball game still as we go to the top of the 8th inning. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
Support for the Wilmington Blue Rocks comes from Fox Rothschild LLP, a law firm with offices in Wilmington and 7 locations throughout the tri-state area. Fox attorneys provide a comprehensive suite of legal services to individuals and businesses of all sizes. The firm's Wilmington office is known for strong practices in litigation and estate planning, as well as real estate, sports law, bankruptcy, and environmental law. Learn more at foxrothschild.com.
I'm Allie Bruce from the Rowan Report. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 9:30 on Rowan Radio. And now, back to the game.
Daniel S. Frawley, Judy Johnson Field. 2-1 ball game. Blue Rocks down 1 against the Aberdeen Ironbirds in the midst of their horse race. And actually, Aiden, there was one of the kids named Aiden.
Yeah.
In the horse race. I think he lost, but.
No.
2 losses for you now today.
No.
With the eyeball race and yourself.
He's a winner. He passes the name test, and that's the most important test. As I always say, there's 6 tools in baseball. Everybody talks about the baseball aspects, but the 6th tool is the name. And sadly, I did think he might have lost, but I also think he might have not known that you're supposed to go up and then back.
Yeah, he could have slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I think he thought it was just a straight line drive race, and I'm gonna call and hope he can figure it out, because next time we need him back here on Friday when we're both here again. And, we're gonna be rooting for him.
Carter Young, the leadoff batter for Aberdeen in this inning. He's batting 5th today, and he's 1 for 2 with a double and a walk, as well as a ground out. He was also caught stealing after he walked in the 4th. Got the double in his last at-bat. Swings through another pitch from Brandon Collins. And with another relief outing for the right-hander. It's his 4th year in the minor league, standing at 6'4", out of Maryland, out of UNC Greensboro. It was a 17th round pick by the Nationals. Only had 1 appearance in the road trip against Jersey Shore. Called strike 3. Brandon Collins starts off the outing. 1, 2, 3. Carter goes down looking. 3 pitches and a strikeout.
Feels like we barely see the ball hit and play anymore. I mean, everybody's just striking out nowadays or walking. I'm trying to look. Our last hit in this game, I believe, was actually Carter Young.
It was Carter Young,
to start the 6th inning, and we're here in the 8th, and he just started the inning with a strikeout.
Douglas Hodo steps in, flew out in his last at-bat. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk.
And before that, I don't even know when the next hit was. I believe outside that double, the last hit might have been the Dugas single, the Jonathan Thomas single in the 3rd inning.
No, it was Adam Retzbach's RBI double.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. 4th inning still, not the greatest offensive output so far since really the first couple innings where it felt like we were getting a lot of hits.
Yeah, this is a pitcher's duel for sure. 8 total hits between both teams, and Hodo swings through strike 2. 1-2 count now for the left fielder in the right-hander's batter's box against the right-hander. Collins with a 4.32 ERA and 25 total innings pitched. 33 strikeouts, 1.68 whip, 14 walks, 1 win, 2 losses so far this season. He was a part of the Nationals Futures game roster. 1-2's outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. But in the road trip against Jersey Shore, he made an appearance on June 13th, which was almost a week ago. It was last Thursday. Pitched an inning and 2/3 with only giving up 1 hit, no earned runs given up, as well as a walk and a strikeout. He already has a strikeout so far in tonight's outing. Now in a 3-2 count against Hodo as he looked at ball 3. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on in the 8th. Up high for ball 4. Another batter on base, but not via the hit, as we talked about, Doc, and it still remains a pitcher's duel, as some people have said it's a pitcher-friendly park here at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, but I don't see where that comes from, but it's happening today.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this park just plays a little bit deeper sometimes, but 11 walks now by both pitching staffs today.
Hodo takes off. Suggs, the throw to second is not in time as Made had to jump to catch the throw from Suggs. So Hodo will stay safe as there's no tag.
That was an amazing jump by Hodo. So he got immediately, he read Collins right away, and that was just on pitch 1. You didn't even get to see him working the stretch yet.
Probably got the read on the on-deck circle. 1-0 count for Vasquez as he swings through for strike 1. Vasquez is 1 for 3 today. Fielder's choice and a strikeout, as well as a single. Got all the way to the 3rd in the 2nd inning after the single, but did not score. struck out in his last at-bat. And a 1-1 count against Collins. Here's the pitch. Outside, called for strike 2. No double play anymore, Doc, so most likely you're going to have to go to Retzbach after Vasquez no matter what. Collins set, pitch clock down to 4. Now down to 3. Here's the 1-2 pitch, way upstairs. Extends the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Collins can be a strikeout pitcher in his freshman year at UNC Greensboro. Had more strikeouts than innings pitched, and he already has one this inning, and it could be a big thing if he can get a second.
2-2. Swung on a miss for strikeout number 2 for Collins as well as Jalen Vasquez. So Vasquez will go down swinging for the second time today. It'll be the first swinging strikeout for Brandon Collins, but he struck out Carter Young in the first at-bat looking. So 2 strikeouts for Brandon Collins so far in this relief outing for the right-hander. 2 outs, runner at second. Now Retzbach steps in, scored both runs today, has another chance to get another RBI if he puts the ball in play. Got an RBI double and an RBI ground out back in the 4th and 2nd inning. Grounded out in his last at-bat to end the 5th, or actually end the 6th inning, excuse me. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Brandon Collins took a long time because he thought about throwing it back to Hodo at second base, former track and field member back at high school, also played football in high school for 3 years. 1-0 pitch inside for ball 2.
One of the most interesting facts that coming out of tonight's oddball game, I think you could say, is that since the start of the 5th inning, there has been 14 strikeouts.
Wow. From both teams?
Yeah, from both teams.
Wow.
7 each.
2-0. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Umpires tonight, Shane Sullivan, as well as Justin Hopkins. 2-1 count for the catcher, the right-handed catcher today. 2-1 count with 2 outs. Called strike. 2-2 count. And there hasn't been any controversial calls either so far, which is nice.
Yeah, no arguing really. There's been a couple of called strike 3s, but most of those hitters have just immediately turned around and walked to the dugout as if they knew. So, but another 2-strike count, possibly 15 strikeouts in the last couple innings since the 5th.
So from 2-0 to 2-2 with 2 outs with a runner at second. A lot of 2s in the 8th inning. Here's the pitch. Low and away for ball 3. Full count now for Brandon Collins and Retzbach. Another competitive matchup between 2 right-handers. Retzbach from PA, Collins from Maryland. This Eastern battle on the riverfront on the East Coast in Delaware. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled and popped up, first base seats, straight back, and it will go foul. Out of play. So we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner in scoring position. 2 outs in the 8th. 2-1 ball game. Aberdeen up 1. Brandon Collins trying to get out of a little jam. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Grounded up the middle. Goes past the glove of Collins, but it rolls over to Pena at second. Throw to first is in time for out number 3. Retzbach goes down on another ground out, this time to second base. In his last at-bat, he grounded out to Dugas at third. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still a 2-1 game. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV. You don't want to miss the end of this one.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. I didn't want to admit it, but I had PTSD.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding help and learning that I wasn't alone.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey, this is Gary Daytolo, your host of the Icon Rock Show, Saturdays at 5 p.m. on Rowan Radio. And now let's get back to the game.
Welcome back, everyone, to some Blue Rocks baseball as they face the Aberdeen Ironbirds, 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Both teams with a combined 8 hits, 5 for Aberdeen, 3 for the Blue Rocks. And the Blue Rocks looking to take the lead for the first time today, Doc. They tied it at 1 apiece in the bottom of the 3rd. That's the only run they've scored, but it's been a common occurrence this season for the Blue Rocks this season, Doc. As we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, they're in the bottom ranks in a lot of offensive categories, specifically in batting average.
Yeah, it's been a tough season for the offense. You know, they've had games where they showed sparks, but, you know, their strength is their pitching. I mean, it's shown out even in losses. I mean, they've only allowed 2 runs tonight, but they're in line for a loss, down 2-1. But the offense has sadly just had some players taken away from them. Jared McKenzie was gone for a bit. I mean, Dale Lyle just got called up, so it's about somebody stepping up. You know, Made has been an excellent offensive player, so is Pena, and it's all up for them to try to get something going. They're in the meat of the order, and they're due up soon.
As a drop bunt down the third base line, it's placed beautifully. Throw to first. Creed Willems jumps, and he's off the bag. It's in time. Elijah Nunez getting the 8th inning started with an infield single bunt. Great way to start it, Doc. And it's first hit for the Blue Rocks since the 3rd inning. And for this whole game, it's since the 6th. So finally got a hit on the board for either side. 9th hit of the game for both teams. 4th for the Blue Rocks. And they're trying to get a rally going towards the end of this game. And who knows, we might see a save opportunity if we can see a run or 2 scored.
And you never know. Small ball, here's Thomas.
Thomas shows bunt. That's all you got to do pretty much is small ball with this Blue Rocks team. But they're last in hits, last in batting average, slugging, on-base percentage, and OPS, as well as RBIs and home runs. Throw back to first, not in time.
Now, since their last hit, which was the Jonathan Thomas base hit before that Nunez bunt, 16 batters came to the plate for the Blue Rocks. So 16 batters in between a pair of hits.
1-0. Thomas swings through for strike 1.
I would like to see Thomas look to go the other way. For somebody that, you know, doesn't have all the strength in the world, it feels like he always is trying to pull it. I wish, you know, he would kind of stay balanced and try to go to right center, right field, and get the runner going maybe from first to third.
1-1 pitch. It's outside. Ball 2. Still for it on the mound. He's trying to go 4 full innings of work.
I mean, he's been ridiculous tonight. You might as well ride the coattails of Ford until, you know, the moon comes out.
2-1. It's popped up towards us, but above us, and it'll go foul. 2-2 count. Sun is still poking through the clouds a little bit. I mean, it's not sunny, but
people like to call it a cotton candy sunset, where it's, you know, the pink and the blue. You see the pink and
the oranges as well.
Yeah.
2-2 count for Jonathan Thomas. Nunez takes off. It goes off of Thomas, and it hits his hand as he tries to shake it off immediately. As he jumps around in the batter's box and will head on over to first base. That'll be a mark tomorrow, but he will go over to first base. Nunez, no stolen base. He'll go to second due to the hit by pitch.
He had a great jump on that as well.
He did.
He was going to be safe no matter what. But
first and second, no outs.
Here we go. 2-3-4. We saw 2-3-4 were due up with bases loaded, no outs. Then sadly a ground ball double play that got 2 outs, had a run scored, but eliminated the inning. Now first and second, no outs for 2-3-4.
So Pena steps into the left-hander's batter's box against the righty of Forrett. Forrett looks at second. 2 runners on for the Blue Rocks. He shows bunt. He pulls back, and he takes for ball 1.
Well, will be interesting. What you just originally saw was third baseman come creep all the way up. I wonder if you're Nunez and if you're the Blue Rocks, do you try to steal third? You know, you fake the bunt, then pull back and just take that base?
Yeah, smart. Nunez bouncing around at second, shows bunt again, pulls back for ball 2.
And now they're clearly scared of it over at third. He stayed back there and Carter Young. He didn't charge like he immediately did when Pena kind of showed. I wonder if he just kind of forgot that there was a runner at second because he was committing. And we'll see what he does here, but Nunez almost looked like he was trying to time it up.
2-0. Here's the pitch to Pena. Drops a bunt, but actually just shows bunt, pulls back. It's now 3-0. Trying to draw a walk with another potential bases loaded, no out situation on the line here. For it in a 3-0 count to Pena. Pena trying to get hit number 55 or another walk on the season. 3-0. Shows bunt, pulls back, ball 4. Bases loaded, no outs again for the Blue Crew, and in steps Kevin Made, who had 2 RBIs yesterday. We'll see if he can create noise again in this pitcher's duel. 2-1, Blue Rocks down 1, and they really want to take the lead for the first time today, at least tie it. Mound visit here, but I think
it's gonna be
the day of Forret is done. 8 strikeouts and 3 innings pitched. What a day for Forret, but he gave up bases loaded, no outs to whoever comes in next in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see if the Blue Rocks can turn it around here in the bottom of the 8th when we come back with a new pitcher for Aberdeen. When we come back, RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
Hello, fans. I'm Minor League Baseball President Pat O'Connor. Like many kids, Baseball Hall of Famer Joe Torre grew up in a home with domestic violence. The Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation wants children in similar situations to know they are not alone. Since 2002, Safe at Home has reached almost 60,000 children, many of whom are directly impacted by violence in their homes, schools, and communities. Minor League Baseball supports the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation in its ongoing efforts to help children. Visit joetorre.org for more information. Thank you for your support of minor league baseball and our charitable causes. Enjoy the game.
Hey, this is Gavin Trutzenbach from Gavin's Rock Lab. Monday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. here on Rowan Radio. And now, let's get back to the game.
Welcome back to Daniel S. Frawley Stadium. Judy Johnson Field. 2-1 for the Blue Rocks as they're down 1. Bases loaded and no outs for the Blue Rocks in the bottom of the 8th. A new pitcher on the mound. It's going to be Cody Scroggins, the right-hander who stands at 6 foot tall, born in 1996 out of Oklahoma. So, Doc, this is the man they're going to really have to look forward to for this 8th inning. Kevin Made steps in, who had 2 RBIs yesterday, and he went 3 for 4. Infield's in on the grass. Bases loaded, no outs, bottom of the 8th. Blue Rocks trying to take the lead for the first time today since yesterday. Takes first pitch for a strike. Scroggins, what do you have on him?
I mean, on the year so far, 16 2/3 innings pitched, an 8.10 ERA, 2-1 win-loss record. This is his 12th appearance. He also has a strikeout in pretty much every appearance. 11 games, 11 strikeouts.
Scroggins, the next pitch, up the middle, snagged on a line, throw back to third. It's in time, a double play. Scroggins just picked it out of thin air and threw it right to third base. Carter Young was covering, and he tagged third base for out number 2. And now there's 2 runners on with 2 outs within 2 pitches. And in steps Joe Narano, but there's still runners on base, Doc. You still have an opportunity to score Jonathan Thomas at second. A lot of speed at second, so it hits a run here.
I mean, that was just an excellent play. But, yes, it's still a big spot here, runner in scoring position. But, I mean, wow, his glove was in the right place at the right time, and he had the IQ to throw over to third, too.
First pitch is taken for a ball. So Thomas at second base, Pena at first base now. Nunez now out at third with Narano up. He struck out 3 times already today. 2 swinging, 1 looking. Scroggins looks back to second. Pitch to Narano is over to shortstop. He's going to flip over to second base in time for out number 3. So Scroggins gets out of a bases loaded, no out jam in the bottom of the 8th. And it's still 2-1 as we head to the top of the 9th. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.tv.
Kimmel Carter, Roman Peltz and O'Neill, PA, is the largest law firm in Delaware, exclusively handling personal injury and workers' compensation cases. With 11 attorneys with over 210 combined years of experience, Kimmel Carter are your Delaware injury lawyers. If you or someone you know has been injured in a car accident or on the job, the website is KimmelCarter.com. Kimmel Carter, Roman Peltz and O'Neill, a proud sponsor of Wilmington Blue Rocks Baseball.
This is Victoria Baker from the Early Bird Special, Monday through Fridays from 7 to 9 a.m. here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. And now let's get back to the game.
9-1-2 due up for Brandon Collins, top of the ninth inning, as Collins is trying to go 2 full innings of work and keep it a 2-1 ball game again. My name's Jack Miller with you, as well as Aiden Doherty. And Aiden, it's 2-1 as they're playing a memorial for Willie Mays, as we talked about in the third inning when Jonathan Thomas came up. Enrique Brownfield Jr., center fielder, up for the Aberdeen Ironbirds. And again, one of the best center fielders of all time in all of baseball, getting the honor here tonight at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium. The Giants wearing a patch tonight for tonight's game for Willie Mays' death. And honestly, I think they should wear that for the rest of the season at least.
Yeah, he is, again, we talked about it earlier, big impact on the game, on the field and also off the field. And yeah, they're playing in his hometown tomorrow in Birmingham, Alabama, and that's kind of a weird timing of things that he passed away 2 days before that game was able to be played.
First pitch is a shown bunt from Tejada, who holds back and takes for ball 1. So 1-0 count to lead off the top of the ninth. Here's the pitch to Tejada as he thought about swinging. Did he go around? He did not. 2-0 count to Tejada, who's grounded out twice to Kevin Made and struck out swinging to Henry in his last at-bat. Swing and a miss for strike 1. 2-0 count. Thought about swinging at it, and he did. But so far for the Blue Rocks, Cornelio with a great start. Only 2 earned runs given up in his 5 innings of work off 4 hits. Walked 5 batters and struck out 4. And for the Aberdeen Ironbirds, it was Luis De Leon getting the start in 4 innings. He's only given up 3 hits, 1 earned, and struck out 5, and giving up 1 walk. And Tejada swings through another for the second strikeout on the night for Tejada, and strikeout number 3 for Brandon Collins. Collins, 2 swinging strikeouts, 1 looking strikeout, and now he goes against the top of the order for the first time today. Enrique Bradfield Jr. getting plate appearance number 5, Doc. He's gotten on base with a single and a walk, but he's stolen 3 bags today.
A danger zone again. Bradfield, anytime he's up at the plate, can do damage.
Pops one up and foul ground. It's playable for Dugas. He's racing after it, and he makes the catch right up against the wall. Actually, he just dropped it as it just squeaked out of his glove.
I think they might have said it hit the netting, actually. But he did end up dropping it as well, I believe. But I think it just hit the netting, which is weird. I've never really seen that before. Usually when it hits the netting, it can be a tough, weird play. And usually it just goes wherever it went. But it kind of fell kind of directly down still.
0-1 count now for Enrique. And it's inside, 2 inside for ball 1. Enrique Bradfield Jr. popped out in his last at-bat to Gavin Dugas, but stays alive. 1-1. Outside for ball 2. He tried to drop down a bunt, and it just went right to Gavin Dugas. Gavin Dugas almost got him out again. But he dropped it either way, even if it touched the screen or not. 2-1 to Enrique, and it's called for strike 2.
Bradfield Jr. has been somewhat quiet. He's gotten on base twice, but he hasn't gotten those extra base hits that he can get and turn on the Jets.
2-2 in the dirt for ball 3. Enrique Bradfield Jr. snapped his 10-game on-base streak last night, going 0 for 5. He's got 32 stolen bases on the season now. Outside ball 4, and he's on the base paths again. Second walk on the day for Bradfield. On base for the third time today. Definitely a great bounce-back game for him, Doc, as he went 0 for 5, as I just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you get this guy on base, it's tough. I mean, they've had some issues with it today, but they called him stealing the last time he got on base in the 5th.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's only 2 stolen bases. It's only 31 stolen bases for Enrique.
Yeah.
Right.
He stole second and third earlier,
He's
though.
going to take off again for stolen base number 32. He does get it. Stolen base number 32 for Enrique Bradfield Jr., third stolen base on the night. But he's got caught stealing, so he's 3 for 4 tonight on stolen bases, but still hurts when one guy has stolen 3 bags on you. He's gotten them once, but still 3 bags stolen. It's got to be a little heart-wrenching if you're Suggs.
Don't be surprised if he goes for 4.
Well, he will take off for third base. The throw to third is not in time again. 4 stolen bases for Enrique Bradfield Jr. Have a night, Enrique. He's just been blazing around the base paths today. He got on to third base with 2 stolen bases in the first inning, and he does it again in the 9th to try and see if they can extend the lead with Reed Trimble up at the dish.
And just another day at the office for Enrique Bradfield Jr. Just somebody that can do anything as a ball player. He can play defense, he can hit, and he can definitely run, and that's for sure. And he did it twice tonight where he stole second, then stole third.
Way upstairs for ball 2 to Reed Trimble. But as we mentioned, Bradfield, leader in Vanderbilt history with stolen bases. In 3 years, he had 130 stolen bases. The 2-time consensus All-American in the SEC. 2-1. Called for strike 2 on the outside corner. 1 out with Enrique at third. Top of the 9th, 2-1 ball game. Aberdeen trying to extend the lead by 1 potentially, maybe 2. Outside for ball 3. Looks like there's some action in the bullpen, Doc, but Brandon Collins still trying to shut the door. He's gone this long before, but just trying to make sure that it stays 2-1. But I feel like once it gets to 3-1, Mario Lasso might pull the trigger. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Trimble. It's too low for ball 4. Trimble will get on the base paths again. Back-to-back at-bats for actually 3 straight at-bats for Trimble with a walk. He's flown out twice. He's technically 0 for 2, but it's gotten on base 3 times. And Mark DeFelice will come out to talk to Brandon Collins, but looks like it's just going to be some time for the bullpen to get ready. Looks like it might be Marlon Perez warming up for the Blue Rocks.
And for the Blue Rocks pitching staff, that is now the 10th walk they've allowed tonight. It's been not so pretty. They've only allowed 5 hits, but they've let up 10 walks. And somehow Aberdeen has not taken advantage pretty much all night long. Only 2 runs in the game, obviously, in the 2-1 lead. But if you look at the pitching staff, I mean, Cornelio in his outing, he had 5 walks, and that kind of leads the charge. And then, Henry with 2, and then now Collins has 3. So Cornelio had 5, and then the last 2 relievers have 5 combined as well. Collins does have 3 strikeouts, but he has 3 walks.
Well, there's a lefty warming up in the pen, and the only 2 people it could be is Perez or Cronin. Cronin has definitely been one of the guys they've leaned towards in close ball games. So we'll see if it's Cronin or Perez, potentially after Collins. As the runner takes off, they're not going to throw, and Trimble will get an easy stolen bag. Second on the day for Trimble. And for the right fielder, it's stolen base number 7. A lot of walks, a lot of stolen bases. It's just what Aberdeen does. Infield's in the 9th inning with 1 out. Called strike 2 for Horvath, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. As well as a pop out. He walked in his last at-bat. Only got to first base in the 7th inning. Creed Willems was the final out of the 7th. On deck for Aberdeen. 0-2. Inside and low for ball 1.
Up in the count for Collins, and infield's in. You got to find a way to get maybe a soft ground out, or just find a way to get a strikeout. And he tried to go in there, see if he looks to go the other way with the slider to the outside part of the plate, and maybe even off the plate.
1-2. Outside, Suggs tried to frame it back into the strike zone, but just barely missed. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And now that you tried that, maybe you go with the fastball up and in, and You know, he might think, hey, another slider, I can hit this if it's over the plate, but it's just going to keep going inside and over the inner part of the plate.
2-2. Thought about, but he holds back for ball 3. So from 0-2 to 3-2. Collins frustrated on the mound. He thought Horvath went around, but he's trying to prevent another walk. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position. First base is open. Top of the ninth, 2-1 ball game. Aberdeen leads by 1. Here's the pitch. Thought about, but he holds back for ball 4. And now the bases are loaded, this time with 1 out for Aberdeen. And Creed Willems steps into the batter's box. As we mentioned all night, and for every Aberdeen series, not who you want to see, and they're definitely going to bring in the left-hander. It looks like it might be Collins or Perez. We'll see who it is when we come back from break. Still 2-1. Aberdeen leads by 1. Pitching change for the Blue Rocks. We'll be right back. RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory's been never giving up hope.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
This is Sue Schilling, your host for Everything Special Needs, Saturday at 8 a.m. on Rowan Radio. And now let's get back to the game.
In steps Marlon Perez for the Blue Rocks, the Cuban native in his 3rd year in the minor leagues. He has 1 win, no losses this season. 7.33 ERA this season with a 1.89 whip. In the 23 and a third innings pitched, 31 strikeouts for the 3rd-year vet, Doc, the 5'10 left-hander, looking to close the door. Bases loaded, 1 out. This is kind of the situations that he was put into last year, as he was the primary closer and like the situational relief pitcher for the Blue Rocks. Went 7-1 last year with just under 3 ERA in the 36 games that he's played. 7 holds, 2 saves in the 69 and 2/3 innings pitched, giving up only 23 earned runs with a 1.18 whip last season. So this is the spot they would put him in last season. But this season he's been a little bit all over the place, whether it be with his control or whatever spot they put him in the game. But now he's in a situational spot again against Aberdeen. Creed Willems with a shot over to first base. They're going to throw over to second for 1. Throw back to first in time. 1 pitch. Double play. Blue Rocks keep it 2-1 in the 9th inning. We'll see if they can walk things off and send the fans home happy here at Daniel S. Frawley Stadium. We'll be right back. Judy Johnson Field here on RowanRadio.com, Channel 2, MiLB.TV.
Maryland Avenue Sub Shop offers hot and cold sandwiches. Located at 623 Maryland Avenue in Wilmington, right down the road from the ballpark. In operation for over 35 years, Maryland Avenue Sub Shop serves cheesesteaks, subs, sub trays, and a variety of other deli items from Italian subs to roast beef. Their number is 302-654-1737. Maryland Avenue Sub Shop at the corner of Maryland Avenue and Beach Street in Wilmington. Maryland Avenue Sub Shop, a proud sponsor of Blue Rocks Baseball on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
Hey, it's Lee Kirshner from the 80s Arcade, Saturday mornings from 10 till noon, only on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. And now, let's get back to the game.
Welcome back, Daniel S. Frawley Stadium, Judy Johnson Field, as we celebrate Juneteenth here at the ballpark tonight. My name's Jack Miller, alongside Aiden Doherty. Aiden, 1 pitch, double play for Marlon Perez. That's a great way to get the best hitter, one of the best hitters in the South Atlantic League, to just get out of that jam. Bases loaded, 1 out. You get a first pitch double play, and now you got to try and walk things off. Down by 1. Just got to get 1 run at least to send it to extras, but this is what the fans paid to see. Cornelio and De Leon, both really good pitchers, really good starting pitchers, and kind of almost expected with those names that we were going to get a pitcher's duel in high A.
Yeah, somehow the pitching staff for the Blue Rocks, they have allowed 11 walks, but they have only allowed 2 runs. So they have found a way to battle, and they've given themselves and their offense a shot to win this game. They've struggled all night long. They had 2 innings with bases loaded, no outs, and they only got 1 run in those 2 innings combined. And now you have a chance here. McKenzie will start us off 5-6-7 duel for the Blue Rocks.
This is one of the most clutch hitters I've seen with my time here at the Blue Rocks. Base is empty. With 1 swing, he could tie it. McKenzie takes inside for ball 1. Tied the game with 2 outs and nobody on against Brooklyn back in May 12th, 2023. Got a walk-off homer in the 9th. Back in the first game against the Cyclones, rips 1 foul off the right field wall. 1-1 count for McKenzie. Walk-off homer against the Brooklyn Cyclones in the first series back on April 6th. And had a sacrifice fly to walk things off the following day on April 7th against Brooklyn. This is the man that you want if you are the Blue Rocks looking for a tie ball game or to win the ball game in the bottom of the 9th. He swings through and is late on the 1-1 offering, and it's a 1-2 count for Jared McKenzie. 1 for 3 today, single in the 2nd, ground out in the 4th, strikeout in the 6th. Pitch from Scroggins is a shot into right field. Back on it is Reed Trimble at the warning track at the wall. He makes the catch right in front of the wall. McKenzie almost tied the ball game with 1 swing. And he gives a high five to the bullpen after making the catch. And it's 1 out in the bottom of the 9th.
Wow, that was a shot immediately off the bat. I was like, oh, wow, this game's tied. And if he hits that 2 hours ago when the sun's out and it's a little bit hotter outside, who knows if that ball carries over. But he just missed that one all the way against the wall, makes the catch. And McKenzie, it sounded good and it looked good, but just short of that right center wall.
Here comes Maxwell Romero Jr., the leader in home runs for the Blue Rocks. There was a lefty on the mound, and Romero bats lefty, so they gave Suggs the start at the catcher's spot. And now he comes in against the righty of Scroggins. 0-1 count as he takes for strike 1. 1 out, nobody on for the power threat of the Blue Rocks. 0-1 count. Outside for ball 1. He had a home run and a double yesterday as he went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. As he was a part of the Nationals spring breakout roster in spring training. Joined TJ White on that roster. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. High fastball swung through for strike 2.
See if we can give one a ride, because
that's what they're looking for.
That's why they're pinch hitting him. I mean, McKenzie almost gave one a ride, and now they got their home run leader up in the pinch hit scenario.
1-2 from Scroggins. Romero takes inside for ball 2, evens the count. Wilmington faithful sticking around. See if the Blue Rocks can turn things around in the 9th inning. 1 out, nobody on. Maxwell Romero, 2-2 count. Swings through the high fastball for out number 2 in the bottom of the 9th. And for Romero and Suggs, the catcher for today, they've all struck out. Suggs with 3 strikeouts and Romero with a strikeout of his own. And in steps Jeremy De La Rosa, who continued that 9th inning back on May 12th, Doc, with Jared McKenzie's solo shot to make it a 7-7 ball game against the Cyclones.
Tonight for the catcher position for the Blue Rocks, 4 strikeouts. Suggs had 3, and then Romero Jr. just came in to pinch hit, struck out. So not something you want from your catcher position.
1-0 is high for ball 2. Hitters count for Jeremy De La Rosa. 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a strikeout. 0 for 3 yesterday with 2 walks. Had 4 hits in the road trip against Jersey Shore with a double and a triple. Here's the 2-0 to De La Rosa. Outside call for strike 1.
Hitters count 2-1. De La Rosa definitely has the power. 2 home runs in a short time with the Blue Rocks.
Here's the pitch from Scroggins again. 2-1. Outside, 2 outside. Just a hair off. 3-1 count for De La Rosa. Has 2 home runs this season, 15 RBIs, 13 hits with the Blue Rocks this season, started the season on the 7-day injured list. Went to Fredericksburg afterwards for a rehab, and is with the Blue Rocks now. 3-1, chop towards the Blue Rocks dugout, foul. 3-2, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 9th. Blue Rocks down by 1 against the Aberdeen Ironbirds. Blue Rocks looking for a very powerful hit number 5. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Scroggins, and it's called strike 3. De La Rosa goes down looking, and the Blue Rocks lose to the Aberdeen Ironbirds in Game 2. And they split the first 2 games. They win yesterday 12-7. Today, completely different story, Doc. 2-1 loss against Aberdeen. And now you have a whole new series pretty much. 4 more games after this. We'll be on the call on Friday. We'll switch spots. But 2-1 loss for the Blue Rocks. And it all just came down to the pitching and the hitting pretty much. I mean, that's the game of baseball. But a lot of strikeouts for the Blue Rocks bats, but a lot of walks given up for the pitchers of the Blue Rocks.
Yeah, the Ironbirds, look, they weren't even great offensively tonight. They got walked 11 times, and they also had 5 hits, but they were only able to get 2 runs across. That's a pretty disappointing day for that offense, but they did just enough because, I mean, their pitching staff. De Leon went 4 strong. He allowed 3 hits. He did allow that 1 run we saw in this game, but he had 5 strikeouts. I mean, Ford came in. I mean, lights out by him. I mean, if you look at this game, I mean, what you're going to look at is the Blue Rocks pitching staff, they walked 11 hitters. What else are you going to look at? Well, the Blue Rocks lineup struck out 15 times. I mean, 15 times. 15 of the 27 outs you get in a baseball game, they were via strikeout. And really, the Ironbirds, who are a pretty well-oiled offensive team and well-oiled machine on that end, but tonight it was their pitching, and their pitching did fantastic. 15 strikeouts, and that's all you can really say. 4 hits just for the Blue Rocks. And Fort gets the victory and he deserves it because Ford in this game, he was excellent. I mean, just a fantastic pitcher, and he found a way to get strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. And sadly for Riley Cornelio, he gets the loss, but he had a good outing as well. I mean, 5 innings, 2 earned runs. You're going to take that every day of the week.
So there's a ground out, an RBI ground out for Retzbach in the second to make a 1-0 game. And then an RBI double play from Viandel Pena in the top or the bottom of the third to make it 1-1. Then in the fourth, they responded, Aberdeen, with an RBI double, and that is history. And on Juneteenth, it is a 2-1 loss for the Wilmington Blue Rocks. The Aberdeen Ironbirds, they get win number 34 on the season, and the Blue Rocks go to a 30-35 record. As you said, Fort gets the win, his first win as an Aberdeen Ironbird, and Cornelio gets loss number 6 on the season, and Scroggins gets his first save as a Blue Rock and keeps his ERA at a perfect 0. Again, 2-1 victory for Aberdeen, and we're going to send things back to the Glassboro studios where Connor McAndrew and Nick Nacy are going to have a fantastic post-game show for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to this Wednesday night of High A Baseball. For Aiden Doherty and myself, Jack Miller, we thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great rest of your Wednesday night.